of right-hander Justin Verlander. Houston manager Dusty Baker.
Not only physically strong, which you can see, but he's mentally strong. I mean, this guy is, he has mental toughness. When he's down and out and look like you got him in trouble, I mean, this guy, he can dial it up.
Our coverage of Game 2 starts at 7 Eastern here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. This just in, Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott says he'll start Sunday's game against the Lions. Prescott has missed the last 5 games with a broken right thumb. Dallas went 4-1 with Cooper Rush as the starter. ESPN's Mike Reese reports Patriots quarterback Mac Jones expects to be available for Monday night's game against the Bears. He's missed the last 3 games with a high left ankle sprain. Coach Bill Belichick hasn't actually named his starter for the game.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. It's a Saints game day. Thursday night football, Saints Cardinals. We are headed to the desert in mere moments. Ryan Clark in 15 minutes. Neal McCready next hour talking LSU Ole Miss. J-Boy, Jake Crain with us in hour 3. We got a ton of Saints Cardinals stuff to do. But I mean, Muse, I'm curious. What did you get for Christmas? What did you get? What did Santa bring you?
Pretty big win last night. That's what Santa brought me.
I mean, it's what a day, huh?
Pretty good.
What about it? You know, yesterday, it's a long-standing rule on the show. We don't talk Pels until Christmas. So, guess what we're going to do? We're going to make it Christmas for the next 2 months. Because I asked you yesterday if you wanted Pelicans talk. I was trying to be a benevolent monarch here and ask what you would prefer. Right now, I don't care what you want. Because I'm going to cram Pelicans talk down your flipping throat. I'm going to force feed it like your mama used to make you eat your peas. That's what's going to happen for the next 2 months, whether you want it or not. You know what happened yesterday? The Pels went up to Brooklyn, took on maybe the best, most talented roster in the NBA, led wire to wire. Zion goes 25-9, and they absolutely pimp-slapped the Nets and put the entire NBA on notice. We coming, bruh. Give me Graf. I want
what's
it.
More impressive, the 28 points or the 14 points allowed. Now Kyrie tries to run through Zion. Bad idea. Collision. Jose to Williamson. Throws it up. No. Dunked in, though, on the trail by Trey Murphy. What in the world is Kyrie Irving doing?
Doesn't matter what he's doing,
You're not going to run over Zion Williamson.
You're not going to run him over. You're not going to run him over, Kyrie. Give me more Graf. I want
Claxton,
Graf.
left corner, Durant for 3. That is blocked by Herb Jones. Your first not on Herb of the year.
Does it get better? Are there more? Give me more.
Oh, of course there's
Give
more.
Me more.
There's always more.
I want
Round
it.
and out. Rebound Trey. Back to Herb. Now Ingram steps to the left of the top 3. Buried it! Buried it! Timeout Steve Nash. Have a quarter.
Hey.
Brandon Ingram. The Pels lead extends to 25.
I'm sorry. Is that game 7 in June, or is this 1 of 82?
That's number 1 of 82.
Freaking graph is just. Give me more! I want more graph. Give it to me.
Jonas got hit by Durant. Get it to McCollum. Leave it for Trey. Extra pass, Graham. Shot fake. Bounce feed to Zion. Down low. And the two-hand throwdown from the left side.
Oh, man. So good. Oh, what a start for the Pels. Look, it's a Saints game day. LSU is welcoming a top 10 opponent on Saturday with Ole Miss coming in. And we're leading with 1 out of 82 for the Pelicans. What a win last night. We'll talk about it a bit later, but it was a lot of fun, man. We'll delve a little deeper into the game and the team. What a start for New Orleans. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. All right, it is game day. Saints, Pelicans. We're heading out to Arizona here. We're dialing up Sean Fazan, our buddy from Fox 8 there in New Orleans. Sean does a great job covering the Saints. He obviously travels with the team, so I want to get a scene setter. No luck with Sean yet? Okay, let's keep trying him. We'll see if we can get him. If not, I'll just play more graph. Hey, you know what, Muse? Give me more graph.
Right wing.
Give it to me.
Get down to Ingram, right of the lane, 1-on-1 with Sumner. That's not fair. Fall away, splash down, BI. Ingram says, are you kidding me? You're going to put that guy on me? Forget it. Timeout, Steve Nash. And somebody just yelled fire at Barclays Center. They are headed for the exits.
Oh, do we have Sean? Wait, I can't. You're just waving your hand at me. Okay, all right. All right, it's after further. We're trying to get Sean Fazan. They're from Arizona. Apologies, we're just having a little trouble with the connection. We'll see if we can work on it. But Saints tonight against Cardinals. Thursday night football. We went over the practice report yesterday, and what it looks like for New Orleans. And the final injury report obviously was not good, which we went through. Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Andrus Peat, Adam Troutman, and Marshawn Lattimore all out. But, you know, we've talked a lot, I think, about the Saints offense, and it seems as though Andy Dalton is going to be the guy tonight for New Orleans. Andy has had a back issue, but it looks like he's going to be the guy and going to be good to go for the game tonight. If anything changes, we'll let you know. It's one of the reasons we're trying to connect with Sean here. But if as much as we've talked about the offense, and I get it, there was a lot of expectation for this offense. Getting Michael Thomas back healthy, you bring in Jarvis Landry via free agency, you draft Chris Olave, your line's healthy, Kamara's healthy. I get it. Like, I get why there was a lot of expectation around this offense this year, and I'm in that number as well. But even with the injuries, the Saints offense hasn't been the problem. And I get it. You struggled against Tampa. You had a quarterback with a broken back, right? We've been over that before. But since they made the switch, and you have a healthier Andy Dalton, you've moved the ball. The Saints are tied for 11th in the NFL in scoring offense at 23 points a game. A year ago, you were in the bottom half of the league in scoring offense. You averaged 19 a game, right? 20 a game a year ago. And even with those offensive issues a year ago, you finished 9-8 because you had a top 5 defense in the NFL. This offense hadn't been great, but it's been good enough. Your defense has let you down. All right, let's head out to Arizona. We got a couple of minutes here. Sean Fazan, our buddy from Fox 8, is good enough to join us. How are you, man?
Doing good here at State Farm Stadium here in Arizona. Interesting. Should be an interesting matchup tonight. Two teams struggling, so we'll see how this one goes.
Struggling teams in struggling divisions as well, Sean. Let me ask, do we have a final word on starting quarterback tonight? Is it Andy Dalton?
All signs pointing in that direction. Andy Dalton spoke with the media on Wednesday in the quarterback slot. Andy Dalton was the one taking the first team reps in the walkthrough practice we were able to see on Tuesday. Strong chance it's Andy Dalton, but I guess it's still technically open until we get closer and closer to kickoff.
Any idea? I mean, go through some of these questions. Any idea how much Alontae Taylor may be able to give the team tonight?
Question. He was able to get on the field at practice today, obviously designated to return. Secondary is a little banged up, and they've got some guys that they were free a couple of weeks ago playing. So they love him in the special teams role. They like him. They like where he was going on defense as well. So I think there's a chance. Probably initially special teams if he's able to go tonight. And who knows? Maybe there are some packages where he can get on the field defensively as well.
Left guard, no Andrus Peat, no Calvin Throckmorton is questionable. Does that mean Lewis Kidd may start at left guard tonight?
He would be the next man up, but I have indications that Calvin Throckmorton would be able to go. Technically listed as questionable, so I guess we'll see once we get closer to kickoff. But yeah, the next one up would be Lewis Kidd, the undrafted rookie who went down. So that's.
Yeah, go ahead, Muse.
In the NFL.
No, I'm sorry, Sean. I'm sorry. Your phone cut out. You just popped back. There you are.
Okay, you got me.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, yeah. No, listen. I was going to say injuries along the offensive line, the thing he's dealt with last year, is very common. You got to weather through it. You got to weather the storm. Lewis Kidd got on the field last week, as we saw, and if Throckmorton can't go, he would be the next one up. I mean, that's where they're at right now.
He's on Twitter at Sean Fazan, Fox 8. Give him a follow. Last one. I mean, you've been around this team for so long, throughout the Peyton years and now with Dennis Allen. Just what's your sense of what it's like being around the locker room now and the mood with the 2-4 start?
That's a good question. There is an urgency. There is a realization that they must get better. I'm just waiting to see that life, that energy on the field, if you will. I think they're saying the right things. I think they're doing the right things. When we get a chance to speak with them, got to see it more consistently on the field. Until I think there are some legitimate questions about this team. And I heard a little bit of your segment there before I got on. Defensively they're struggling right now, and this team is not built for a struggling defense. This team is built for a dominant defense. And frankly, they've let them down the last couple of weeks. So. All those things have to come together. You just hope at this point in the year, the cohesiveness, the chemistry, whatever you want to call it, can come together. And no time like the present, Matt, because they desperately need one here tonight.
Interesting scenario with two teams at 2-4, both in divisions where the leaders at 3-3. It's within reach, but it feels like you got to get this one for both these teams. Thursday Night Football. He's Sean Fazan on Twitter at Sean Fazan, Fox 8. I'll give him a follow. Thank you, man. We appreciate you squeezing it in.
All right, no problem, buddy.
All right, man. We'll see you. That's Sean Fazan. This is After Further Review. Let's talk some LSU Ole Miss with Ryan Clark. How does LSU limit Ole Miss's running game? What worked so well for LSU's offense a week ago? We're talking with Ryan Clark next on AFR.
AFR.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 60 months on new 2022 Ford F-150s. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
I am Juliet, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis, but I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. and I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jdacody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. It's time to talk Tigers with former LSU safety Ryan Clark. Presented by DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today.
Pivot bet? Like when LSU beats Florida, those 2 chumps have to wear LSU shirts or something like that?
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Excuse me, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, are we going to make a pivot bet? What? Matt Moscona, I'm on the radio right now. And he asked, are we going to make a bet on the Florida LSU game?
Oh, for sure. 100%.
100%?
Florida, by the way.
Okay, so if we win, you have to wear LSU gear on the next episode we film and vice versa.
I like it.
You like it?
All right.
Channing says he's in, man.
Yeah.
So
All right. Ryan Clark joins us now. RC, how are you?
Good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Please give me some good news on the pivot bet.
The bet has been cleared, but the problem is this. I was out of town when the game was played, so I didn't have any LSU gear to give them this week when we filmed, because we filmed before I ever made it home.
Okay.
The next film session, which could be a very big one, I'm not going to, for people like me and you, Sconey, will understand this. There's a very tall guy of Nigerian descent that hails from New Zealand that'll be defending his middleweight UFC championship really soon. That could be the next thing that's filmed, and LSU will be represented.
It's so good. I'm so glad I asked you that last week. I'm so glad that happened. Hey, all right. By the way, what's been the vibe with you and Channing and Fred like after the game? What did you rub it in a little bit?
I rubbed it in a bit.
Good. Yes.
And let's just say part of filming this week included two guys. Some might say they're identical in the way that they look. Probably born like a minute apart. All pro centers in the NFL. One of them played for the Steelers. Other drafted by Miami. So let's just say I may have done a show recently surrounded by Gators, and it kind of started with me bragging a little bit about those Tigers.
Let's go. I'm so excited about this now. Is that drop tomorrow?
No, that doesn't drop tomorrow, but we
All
got
right.
it in the can, man. We got it in the
All
can.
right. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so let's go back to Saturday. What in the world, what happened for LSU's offense?
It started to work.
Yeah, right? How?
You know, it's one of those things, and it's crazy because we talked, and I was like, it can't be fixed. It can't be fixed without creativity. It can't be fixed without Jaden Daniels being better. I guess what I never thought is that both of those things could improve in 1 week on the same night. When you looked at Jaden, I felt like he threw on time. I felt like he trusted the pocket. I felt like he understood when he needed to move. But you also think of big catches on fade balls where we have wide receivers picking the football off of defenders' heads. You see the halfback angles run by the tight end, which is a new wrinkle that they have in the middle of the field, gives Jaden some wide open throws. Keyshawn Butte showing up and being that top 15 talent we've been waiting for all season, and then hearing, Brian Kelly talk about the way he practiced, talk about the way he approached the game. And here's something, Sconey, that is that I think needs to be a conversation. Sometimes, right, when people don't know you, you know what I mean? Like Sconey, like if I need something done here and it has to do with a host or a radio personality or whatever it is, it really doesn't matter to me if I listen to your show all week and you're not very good, because I know what you're capable of because I've seen it, I've touched it, I've been around it. I'm like, hell no, I don't care if he's been sick this week. Okay. On Saturday, I know Sconey's going to show up. Well, when new coaches come in and maybe you aren't showing what you need to at practice, maybe you aren't practicing as hard as they need you to, they get comfortable with other guys. Like if Malik Neighbors is doing a ton in preseason or in training camp or during the week, you're going to call plays for Malik Neighbors. So you see Keyshawn be acknowledged for the way he's practiced. That sometimes makes a coach call your number. That sometimes makes a coach put you first in the progression. And I think that's a little bit of part of why Keyshawn excelled as well, was that he gained the confidence of the coaching staff throughout the week. And then we saw, what the Tigers were able to do. And then we even saw, though Jaden passed well, we saw him use his legs to get in the end zone as well, which we've seen him do throughout the year.
Ryan Clark's with us on Twitter at RealRClark25. Of course, host of The Pivot. Make sure you subscribe up on YouTube, your favorite podcast app, wherever you get your podcasts. So the obvious follow-up then, RC, is what we saw Saturday, is that replicable?
I think it is. I believe it is. It may not necessarily feel the same statistically every week, but I think this is something that they can do as a team based on the type of talent they have and a coaching staff that is established, a head coach that does understand how to put back-to-back performances together. So I believe it's replicable. I do want to say this about Jaden. The Jaden Daniels that we saw Saturday was the Jaden Daniels that I saw beat Justin Herbert in Oregon in a primetime game when he was 18 years old. Like, that was the kid I thought would, one day be talked about as a Heisman hopeful. And I think I remember talking to you about it when he, first earned the starting job. Like, that was what it looked like to me, Sconey, and who I thought he could be consistently. And so I think if they can put him in the same positions, give him the same opportunities, but also we have to give credit to the wide receivers and the tight ends for making plays, also the running backs out of the backfield. Everybody has to perform at that level in order for us to see that again.
Hey, man, it sure looked good on Saturday, and hopefully they can carry it forward this coming Saturday against Ole Miss. RC, I do want to flip and ask you about the defense and how you try to slow down that Ole Miss offense, which has really been churning out the ground game.
You know what's crazy? Or maybe this makes me a dummy. You know, like so many times when we get teams that score all of these points, we really point to like how well they can pass the ball because so much is spread offense. Watching that game against Auburn, Jackson Dart had 2 touchdowns early. Those were 2 touchdowns, Coney, that me and you could have thrown. And I actually can't raise my right arm very high over my head. You know, I do have a quarterback name. My quarterback name is Roussel Lamar. Roussel Lamar Newton Mahomes Jr.
I've seen him at Attraction.
Yes, he's just a phenomenal thrower of the football. He has kind of this sidearm necessary motion in order to throw the ball. That guy could throw some of the touchdowns I saw Jackson Dart throw. The creativity, man, of Ole Miss as they add the pass game to the run is really next level. When you watch them, you know, they threw a quarterback power pass for a touchdown. Who does that? But in order to do that, you have to be able to run the football well, and they also make everything look the same formation. The linemen look the same. Obviously, that RPO type of look, kind of elephants on parade. I mean, they are so sound and so creative schematically offensively. It's really a pleasure to watch, man. And so LSU is going to have to be disciplined. LSU is going to have to run, hit, but also their eyes are going to have to be perfect this week because Lane Kiffin gives you so much to look at.
You think it's something that, based on what you've seen from LSU's defense, from Matt House and the personnel they have, that they're able to do?
You know, here's why I think they're able to do it. They don't ask their corners to see a ton, right? And so, like, when you go back to what we saw against Auburn, Auburn's corners were, like, nosy. They were trying to see a lot. With us, we do have a lot of press man, and those guys are kind of on an island, so you don't really get caught up in the run fake. So it's going to be on those inside guys, you know, the Greg Brookses, the Jay Wards, and those guys to be very sound in what they see because they are accounted in the run fits often. And if those guys can be disciplined and also have seen some of these looks throughout practice and really be drilled on being disciplined, I think they can do it. But you also got to score points whenever you're playing against Ole Miss. And what I've seen from them, they're very long-ranging, fast, opportunistic defense.
RC's with us. Our chats every week brought to you by DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Hey, RC, before you go, man, 2 things. Number 1, I saw LSU put out that you're going to be part of SEC Nation this weekend.
Yeah, so we're actually shooting NFL Live from campus tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, you know, we usually do it remote, right? So it's remote on Friday. And Laura, the reason it's remote is that Laura has to be on site for SEC Network by Friday. So because she's not going to be inside the studio, obviously we don't need to be there. But she texted me like Monday, like, hey, are you in Baton Rouge this weekend? I was like, well, yes, I am because my daughter has homecoming, so we're not going to Stanford to watch Jordan. And so, man, yeah, I'm going to get an opportunity to be on campus and do a show, which is kind of a dream for me. That'll be fun. And we're also going to join SEC Network and do some things. It's so funny, though. I don't really have a lot of college pictures because, well, I'm old, and I just don't save those kind of things. And I don't really love taking pictures either. But they made, like, ESPN made this kind of, like, advertisement or something we could post on social. And they sent it to me, and they go, okay, does this work? And the picture was of Corey Webster. And so,
how in the world? What?
Yeah.
What? How in the world?
Bro, and so I asked, I said, hey, is Corey Webster going to be on the show? And obviously this is the social media team. And she goes, well, wait, let me ask. I said, well, why don't you? And I guess she contacts SEC Network and contacts NFL Live. And she's like, no, Corey Webster's not on. But obviously these people don't really know LSU football like that. But it's just funny because I think she's just asking because she feels I'm inquiring about the information. And I was like, well, I'm not number 13. I was like, I wasn't number 13. I was number 2. I was like, that's Corey Webster. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, no problem.
Oh, my God. There's got to be good photos of number 2 running around smashing heads. So Marty,
Bro,
yeah, go ahead.
It probably isn't any good photos of me. Sconey, I don't even know what kind of cameras they were using then. Those were the joints you had to bring to like Eckerd's. I don't even know if you remember Eckerd's.
Of course I remember Eckerd's, bro.
and get them printed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So your mom could put them in a frame at the crib.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'll bet you Phil Cancelleri, shout out, has a ton. He's been shooting LSU games forever. I guarantee he's got a ton from that era. Well, if they're there, we can find them. Marty McGee, SEC Nation, both from the quad for LSU Ole Miss. RC will be a part of it. Hey, before you go real quick, can I get a quick thought on Thursday Night Football, Saints Cardinals?
I mean, here's what I'm interested in seeing. So Robbie Anderson's been traded. Marquise Brown is down, but also D-Hop is back this week. So I'm interested in seeing how the Cardinals offense, whether the Cardinals offense can thrive, and Kyler Murray is better because D-Hop is back. Bro, we've seen D-Hop play with some of the worst quarterbacks of all time, right? And constantly be productive. This offense hasn't been playing well, but isn't it easy when you can like just throw it to a dude who is very covered and he catches it?
Yeah.
That's what D-Hop gives you. So I'm interested to see how the Saints play on the back end. But also think about this, bro. For the last, what has it been, Stoney? And, you're as good on the Saints as I am, if not better. For the last 4 years, I feel like the Saints have had a Super Bowl winning caliber defense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? One of those years it was taken away by a terrible missed pass interference. Drew got older, couldn't push the ball down the field in some of those playoff games. But this year, it's not the same. And I'm trying to figure out why. DeMario Davis is still amazing. You still have a lot of the pieces up front. You basically traded your 2 safeties and Jenkins and Williams for May and Tyrann Mathieu. You played, Paulson Adebo. You played Taylor on the outside. Now, I think a big part of this is not having Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I think the versatility he gave you, he was just so dang good in the slot. And so I do want to see, can the Saints start to play that level of defense again as the season goes on? Not even as for tonight, but just for their opportunities to compete in the NFC South that, bro, honestly, Atlanta could actually win.
I know. The division's so bad right now, which is the only reason
So
for
bad.
it.
I mean, so bad, Tom Brady's going to weddings on Fridays, bro.
Can't blame him. I can't blame him.
And eating sugar cookies and stuff.
Do you think he really ate sugar cookies? I don't believe he did.
I don't know, Tom Brady, sugar cookies.
That's
Them cookies had protein, wheat germ, youth elixir. They had facial toner.
Facial toner in the cookies.
In the cookies, bro. That man doesn't eat to live to eat. That man eats to live.
RC, I'd eat sugar cookies. I'd eat a gang of them. You put sugar cookies in front of me, I'll eat the whole lot of them. I'll eat them all.
Bro, sugar cookies are such a phenomenal treat.
I know, they're so good. Y'all check out RC on the Pivot. Our conversations are brought to you by DraftKings. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Keep it cool, brother.
All right, man. That's Ryan Clark. He's on Twitter at RealRClark25. Y'all check out the Pivot. If you're not watching the Pivot, you should be. It's awesome. The guests they get, the conversations they have, football players in all walks of life. It's incredible. Check it out at YouTube. Go subscribe up to the Pivot. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. Slowly, we are converting my entire family into Volkswagen people. Both my parents drive Volkswagens. My dad a Passat, my mom an Atlas. I drive an Atlas. Erica drives an Atlas. My cousin bought an Atlas. His parents bought an Atlas. My aunt and uncle. I'm telling you, drive a Volkswagen, and you will understand the great German engineering, all the style, the feel, the performance of luxury without the cost. You can go buy a luxury brand SUV, or you could save about $30,000 and buy a Volkswagen and be just as thrilled, if not more. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, we do appreciate Ryan Clark as always. Neal McCready, by the way, is with us in 45 minutes. He covers Ole Miss for Rebel Grove, longtime friend of the show. We'll kind of get an up-close and personal view of Ole Miss on this game here in about 45 minutes from right now. And J-Boy, our buddy Jake Crain, is going to be with us in hour 3. So we got a ton to do. We got a ton of Pels to talk about. Obviously, after a big win last night, ton of Saints-Cardinals preview. We'll keep chipping away at LSU, Ole Miss. Our fantasy blitz coming up in less than 15 minutes. Stick around. We'll go around the SEC next.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. I say those words every single day, and there are literally thousands of AFR listeners that have saved money because they heeded that advice. They called Insurance Network of Louisiana. You could be next. Call right now. They're open until 4:30. This is so easy. Again, they're not selling you anything. You're not making a call and you're getting a salesperson on the other line trying to push something on you. It is literally this easy. We all have insurance. Most of us have insurance with a provider that can only, with an agent that can only get rates from their parent company, meaning you got your local Allstate agent or State Farm or Liberty Mutual, whatever. They can only get rates from that company. You call Insurance Network of Louisiana. They've got relationships with dozens of the top-rated companies. They'll shop all of them to see if they can get you better coverage than you currently have. If they do, great, switch. If not, stick with what you got. But at least you'll know. Better coverage for less money. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
He'll be game time, same as James. We'll see how he feels kicking. He's made great progress, but I don't know if he'll be ready or not.
That's Cliff Kingsbury talking about their place kicker, Matt Prater, who has a leg injury, so we'll see if he's able to go. If not, that certainly would alter how Arizona approaches the game with kicking situations. You might see him go for it more on fourth down. Just something worth keeping an eye on tonight on Thursday Night Football with Matt Prater potentially unavailable. Prater, we shared this with you yesterday. Interestingly enough, he holds the career-long field goal. I'm sorry, the franchise record for longest field goal with 3 different organizations. He's been incredible throughout his career. Could be big if he's not there. We know DeAndre Hopkins will be back. Incredibly, Hopkins has gone over 100 yards 37 times in his career. Incredible. Oddly, none of those, however, came a year ago when the Cardinals started 7-0. Suffered an MCL injury back in December, missed the rest of the season, now finally back. Here was Cliff Kingsbury on how Hopkins potentially impacts the offense coming back off the injury.
You know, when he's out there, like I said all along, he puts a pep in everybody's step with just his energy. And, you know, he's always talking, very competitive. So I think it starts there. And there's just been a level of confidence that I think players and coaches feel when he's out there, that he's a guy that at any moment you get it close to him, he can make a play. And so we'll see what he can do. He hadn't put on pads or lined up against the DB in probably close to, a year, you know. So we can't expect him to be the savior, but just the intensity, energy he brings has been good for the team.
Of course, Saints cornerbacks have struggled, and there's no Marshawn Lattimore tonight, and Paulson Adebo has been one of the lowest-graded cornerbacks in the league when he's been out there this year. So how do the Saints corners manage with that receiving core, which has a big question and really an anemic Arizona offense to this point? It's a big storyline tonight on Thursday Night Football. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC in just a second. We're brought to you by Mold Zero USA. Love telling you about Jim Woodworth and the gang over at Mold Zero. This is a non-toxic, patented dry fog technology. If you have mold, home, office, no matter, check out our friends over at Mold Zero. They'll come by, they'll spray this patented dry fog, they'll let it dwell, it'll get into every single nook and cranny. Takes about 2 hours, really. You're only out of your house for about 2 hours to let it dwell, and then let the mold let the fog dissipate, and then you're back into a clean, fresh smelling, mold-free home or office. It's Mold Zero. We're not talking no demolition. We're not cutting sheetrock here. It really is that easy. It's Mold Zero. Mold-0USA.com or call 733-0223. 733-0223. Mold-0USA.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Texas A&M Aggies.
A&M's already lost Max Johnson for an extended period of time after he was knocked out in the game against Mississippi State. The injury resulted in the return of backup Haynes King. Well, King was seen limping after that Mississippi State contest. Jimbo Fisher was asked about King's status, and he said, quote, he's going. So Haynes King will play for Texas A&M this weekend. His backup will be true freshman Connor Weigman, who has not taken a snap yet this year.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Among the 5 Power 5 transfers that Alabama landed, all but one have appeared in game action. That one is receiver Tyler Harrell. Tyler Harrell's a receiver transferred in from Louisville over the summer. And Nick Saban said he was actually available for the last game, but he's been dealing with a sprained foot. He could be closer, however, to returning now. Available this last week and getting more reps. Harrell was the game breaker. Had 18 catches for 523 yards. It averages 29 yards per reception. Harrell could be on the field this week for Alabama.
The Florida Gators.
Florida ranks last nationally in third down defense, 85th or worst in a handful of categories, including total offense allowed, opponent yards per play, yards per rush, total rushing yards per game allowed, opponent completion percentage, yards per pass allowed. Basically, Florida's defense is really bad. But Billy Napier, the dreaded vote of confidence for defensive coordinator Patrick Toney, the 32-year-old, and his third season as a DC, 2 years at ULL, now in his first year at Florida. I said Toney is, quote, absolutely one of the best coaches I've ever been on staff with. See? All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends Gulf Coast Office Products. You know where to find them. GCOPnet.com, face-to-face sales service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products, celebrating 20 years as the official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers. Also, the official office equipment provider of the Saints, the Pelicans, and the ULL Raging Cajuns. It's Gulf Coast Office Products, GCOPnet.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Week 7 of the NFL season kicks off tonight, Thursday Night Football, Saints Cardinals. Before you set your fantasy football roster, you know the drill. Check with our guys at whotostart.com. When we come back, Darin Tietgen is here to answer all of your personalized fantasy football questions. Before you set your roster, check with the guys at whotostart.com. That's whotostart.com. Fantasy Blitz is next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. If you need a place to watch Thursday Night Football, get by Pluckers. Oh, there is so much going on tonight, by the way. Like, this is the type of day where you're just thankful to the good Lord that the king of the wing, Stevie Levy, decided to open up Pluckers. Because tonight you got Thursday Night Football. Saints at Cardinals. It's on Amazon Prime. If you don't have Amazon Prime, no worries. They do it at Pluckers. Go watch it there. You got game 2 of the ALCS. Yankees, Astros. You want to watch them both at the same time? You can at Pluckers. Oh, by the way, you've also got college football tonight as well. And the NBA is underway. And the NHL is underway. You want to watch all of it at one place, one glorious, majestic location with award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice cold draft beer, full-service bar, and sports on TV. Then you go to Pluckers. Nicholson just south of campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. All-you-can-eat boneless wings every Thursday. Pluckers, you don't like our wings. Give the bird.
At Corvette Toyota in Opelousas, we're happy to say we have vehicles in stock and more coming in at no markup. Don't pay over MSRP. Come on down to Corvette Toyota and choose your new Toyota today. That's Corvette Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.com.
Who the hell are you?
whotostart.com.
Peekaboo!
The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the pickings?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz, powered by whotostart.com on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 104.5ESPN.com.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. We're glad you're with us here. Let's get to it. Our Fantasy Blitz. Whotostart.com. Before you set your roster, check with our guys at whotostart.com. Use the promo code ESPN. They'll save you 10%. Darin Tietgen joins us. How are you, D?
I'm doing good. Looking forward to some football tonight.
Hopefully we have a better Thursday night game, and hopefully the good guys win tonight. What are we looking forward to tonight? I know there's going to be a lot of questions about DeAndre Hopkins, so let's dive right into it.
Yeah, speaking of Hopkins, we're going to see what he does to this offense. I mean, it's been pretty anemic this first few weeks of the season. Looks like Marquise Brown just hit the IR. They did bring in Robbie Anderson, which could inject some life into that offense, but the life is going to come from DeAndre Hopkins for sure. So look for Kyler Murray to step his game up and involve Hopkins quite a bit right from the get-go, since Marshawn Lattimore seems to be out for another week. From the Saints side, looks like Chris Olave is coming back. That's going to help the offense. Traquan Smith's another guy to look for tonight, despite the changing of the guard at the quarterback position. Still don't know as far as I know. I don't know if the quarterback's been announced yet. But
seems like it's
whoever
going to be.
it is,
I think we're expecting Dalton.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me as well. So look for Chris Olave and Traquan Smith to get in on the action tonight against the Cardinals secondary.
We're starting to look at teams on a bye. So Buffalo, the Rams, Minnesota, Philly. A lot of teams are going to be looking for maybe sleepers, guys they can pick up on a waiver wire for guys on a bye. So any sleepers this week, guys, to keep an eye out for?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's those teams on the bye really kind of handcuff you with quarterbacks gone. And it's Josh Allen, it's Jalen Hurts, even Kirk Cousins. So if you're looking for a fill-in quarterback, Marcus Mariota, his matchup may not look good on paper in terms of passing the ball, but he's going to be able to run the ball against Cincinnati, and that should be a higher scoring game. So Marcus Mariota is one of our quarterback sleepers for the week. Travis Etienne looks like he's kind of slowly taking the full-time job away from James Robinson for the running back position for the Jags. So we like him this week. It's a good matchup against the Giants. And then finally, at wide receiver, Robert Woods, definitely the number one option for a pass. A team that doesn't really pass all that much, but he's going to get most of the targets from Ryan Tannehill, and we also like his matchup this week against Indianapolis.
All right, let's get to your questions for Darin. Here's one for you, email from Scott, who says, who to start? It's 1 point per reception. That's 1 PPR. Needs to start 2 of the 3 at flex, so I guess this is kind of a who to sit. He's got Brandon Ayuk, Rondale Moore, and Taysom Hill. Who are you sitting there?
I think I'm sitting Moore, just with Hopkins back. He's going to be getting all the targets. Moore, I like Hill's upside a little bit. If you're wanting to roll the dice, play Hill. Otherwise sit Moore. Ayuk is definitely a good play.
Here's one from Caleb. He needs 3 of these 4. So, again, this is sort of a who to sit, I guess. He's got D-Hop against the Saints. He's got Pittman against Tennessee, Tyreek against Pittsburgh, and Godwin against the Panthers. So who to sit there among those 4?
That's tough. Those are 4 good wide receivers with good matchups that are probably ranked in the top 20 this week. I guess sit Hopkins just because it's his first week back and maybe he needs to get his legs under him a little bit. The other 3 you just can't sit. So they're like, top 15 wide receivers in PPR this week. So reluctantly, I'll say Hopkins.
Let's see. Dylan Atkinson said he's got Dak or Geno. He said this is a 4-point pass touchdown league. Dak or Geno, who to start?
Yeah, again, Dak coming back. It's his first week back, so maybe give him a week, see how he's operating with that offense. Geno Smith right now, just putting up a lot of points, consistent points. At least a couple touchdowns every week. If you want to, kind of gamble a little bit, Dak maybe the higher upside play. But if you want to play it a little bit more safe, which I tend to do with my quarterback, I would go with Geno.
We got 1 minute left. Roderick says who to start. He needs 2 of these 4. He's got Zeke, Pollard, James Conner, and Raheem Mostert. We don't even know if Conner's going to go tonight, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think that he's going to play. I think Benjamin is going to be the main ball carrier for the Cardinals tonight. I'm sitting those last 2. I know it's kind of tough to start 2 running backs from the same team, but they're going to be running the ball. The Cowboys, that is, will be running the ball quite a bit against the Lions. And I think Pollard and Zeke both have a chance to get into the end zone this week. So it's kind of a risk, but you're going to play the Cowboy running backs.
Last one, real quick. Cameron Cook, who to start non-PPR? He's got Latavius Murray and Curtis Samuel at flex. Who to start?
Murray, present.
I think you're going to go Samuel there. If it's non-PPR, you're going to go for the upside, the touchdown upside, and I think he's the play even with the change at quarterback.
Darin Tietgen, who2start.com. Thanks, Darin.
Thanks. Enjoy the game tonight. Go Saints.
AFR.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. We're brought to you by Relief Windows. He hit the post. That was beautiful. ReliefWindows.com, 288-8138, 288-8138 for Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. You know the drill. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. Listen, I tell you all the time about the beautiful windows. I tell you how they never take any money until you're thrilled with the work. I tell you about how, my experience. The thing, though, that stands out so much more than anything with Relief Windows is always, always, always the customer service. Always. I can't tell you how many times over the years that I've been fortunate enough to represent Relief Windows that I've heard Brandon Holly say that as a business owner, you have to be willing to spend your last dollar to make your customer happy. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not going to the right lengths for your customer. That's what Relief Windows is. It's more than just windows, doors, siding. It's experience, quality, and service.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shop a style.
Oh, yeah!
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Including the regular season, the Astros have beaten the Yankees in 6 of the 8 games they've played. Houston leads the ALCS 1-0, leading into Game 2 tonight in Houston. Our ESPN radio coverage starts at 7 Eastern and is also on the ESPN app. Sunday, the 3-3 Packers play on the road against the 2-4 Commanders. ESPN's Dan Graziano says Green Bay is struggling and needs to figure out how to win.
They're going to need Rodgers and the offense to have sort of a surprise good game while they figure out how to stop the run on defense, right? Like that kind of. So right now, and against the Jets, all 3 phases were a mess. That's not going to work.
Dan Graziano on Key J and Max. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott says he'll start Sunday against the Lions. Today, he had his first full practice since breaking his right thumb in the opener. The Cardinals put wideout Marquise Brown on IR. He will miss at least 4 games with a left foot injury. Arizona hosts the Saints tonight.
Fall into a hiring spree with Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. 15 minutes from right now, we'll head over to Oxford, check in with our buddy Neal McCready from Rebel Grove, get a sort of behind enemy lines look at the Ole Miss Rebels. What has worked so well for the Rebs so far during the 7-0 start. That's coming up in 15 minutes. Jake Crain, a.k.a. J-Boy from Crain & Company, he'll be with us next hour as well. A lot of talk about Saints and Cardinals tonight. NFL Live is on TV here on ESPN2. Kind of have our eyes on that. Got Ryan Clark's take on Saints Cardinals last hour. If you missed it, you can always catch that on demand. But there is a bit of history today. On this day, October the 20th, 1996. So we're talking 26 years ago, right? Am I doing that math right? 26 years? Yeah, 26 years.
Yeah, that's right, 26.
I'm so bad at math.
I'm not good either.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible at math. You want me to do a grammar test? You want me to win a spelling bee? I'm your guy.
Spelling bee, yeah?
You want me to do math? I'm no good. Anyway, 26 years ago was this absolute gem.
Well, what happened was that second game, we got our ass kicked. Or the second half, we just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half. That's what it boiled down to. It was a horse performance in the second half. Horse. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in that second half. It sucked. It stunk.
That was Jim Mora, the inimitable Jim Mora. October the 20th, 1996. The Panthers beat the Saints 19-7. The Saints would fall to 2-6 on the season. Then Jim Mora would resign the next day. Rick Venturi would finish the season as the Saints interim head coach, and then the Saints, of course, would hire Mike Ditka. I love this. Jim Mora, of course, does a lot of work with WDSU, and he is there in Arizona with the WDSU crew for their coverage tonight, along with our buddy Sharif Ishak. Should I call him? Wait, did I just slip a little by calling him our buddy?
Oh, look at you.
Do you think people get it? I'm curious. Do you think people get it?
No.
You think they think that me and Sharif hate each other?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with T-Bob, right?
No, we really hate each other. That's a means to an end.
That's a means to an okay.
All right. We both make money doing shows together.
Okay.
Do you think T-Bob and I are out breaking bread on weekends?
That doesn't mean you.
Do you think our families are going to the park together? I mean,
that'd be nice. That'd be really nice.
That would. I'm sure his family is lovely.
Look at this.
His girls are precious. His wife is a saint for dealing with him.
That's fair.
He and I could not be more polar opposite humans.
That's also true.
So, and please don't say opposites attract, because that's just not true. Anyway, Sharif and I hate each other, too. He stinks at his job. He's terrible at what he does. The only thing he's good for is ranking frat names. Anyway, so Sharif is in Arizona with Jim Mora, and he talked to him about this game. He said he was going to ask him about that diddly poo. I'm going to play this blind. This is a 42-second clip. It's on Sharif's Twitter. It's Sharif and Jim Mora on the field there at, what do they call it, State Farm Stadium now? Whatever they call it. I think they call it State Farm Stadium now. Anyway, I have not heard it yet, but it's on Twitter, so it's got to be clean, right? Sharif wouldn't post this on his Twitter if it wasn't clean, but I'm going to play it cold. Playing this blind, flying blind here. I don't know what he says. Here we go.
All right, Jim, a couple 2-4 teams. I feel like the Saints need this win more than the Cardinals.
Why?
Because they're 2-4.
So are the Cardinals are 2-4.
You're right.
But you know the good thing about this?
What?
In their division, the best team is only 3-3, both for the Cardinals and for the Saints. So they're only one game out of first place. They're 2-4 now. They don't want to be 2-5, okay? Because somebody out of that 3-3 thing is going to win, and they're going to have a 2-game advantage on the Saints or the Cardinals. So I think it's a really big game for both teams. But not any more for one team than the other.
Got a lot of knowledge coming from Jim Mora throughout the entire day before we kick off the game right here on WDSU.
Sharif, we didn't get a diddly poo reference. Should have known. Anyway, Sharif's so bad at his job. Muse, how do you miss that opportunity? Like, you know,
I was really waiting for it.
You know, it's the anniversary of diddly poo. You're standing next to the man who 26 years ago made the diddly poo rant. One of the most famous rants from, when we start to think about NFL coaching rants, there's the late Dennis Green. If you want to crown him. There's diddly poo. There's
playoffs, another Jim Mora.
Jim Mora with the playoffs is certainly in that pantheon as well. It's there. It's one of the great ones.
Not to mention Sharif
and he
said he was going to ask about it.
He knew. He said, I'm going to ask him about it. He didn't. That's why Sharif's bad at his job. How's he employed? I don't know. Somebody just texted me. Is it Sharif? No. All right, maybe we'll bother Sharif later. I don't know. He's probably working or pretending to work. Clearly he doesn't work. What's he doing? Take a Twitter video with Jim Mora giving the team's records. Nice job, Sharif. Awesome at your job, fella. All right, it's after further review. What do I have to remind you about? All right, we are going to, by the way, in just a second, Sean Payton to the Cardinals? I'm getting there in 60 seconds. Want to remind you about the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com for the Williamson Eye Center. Hey, look, I've told you about my LASIK experience now for years. Had LASIK 4 years ago with Dr. Blake. Best decision I could have possibly made. Wish I had made that decision years prior. If you've put it off, don't. Go for the LASIK consultation. Also remember, if you have FSA or HSA dollars, you can use those toward LASIK. But it expires at the end of the year. So December 31st is the cutoff. So if you want to use those funds, if you want to use those dollars, You got to do it before the end of the year, so go for your consultation now. Schedule that consultation with Dr. Blake now. Get on his schedule, go for the consultation, get on his surgery schedule, and get it done before the end of the year. Get your LASIK done before the end of the year. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com for the Williamson Eye Center. There's been so much speculation about what's going to happen with Sean Payton. And I think generally speaking, the assumption has always been Sean Payton's going to go to the Cowboys. Well, Dallas is kind of rolling right now. And barring a collapse, I don't think Dallas's job is going to be open. Now, maybe Sean Payton's willing to wait, but I also don't think Sean Payton's going to jump into a job just to jump into a job. For example, he's not going to Carolina. Sean Payton's made it pretty known. He wants to be on one of the coasts. Miami or L.A. would make a lot of sense, right? If the Chargers job comes open, if the Miami job comes open, those would make sense. He's not going to Carolina. He's not going to a total rebuild with no quarterback. He's going to go somewhere where he's got a quarterback. You have Tua in Miami. You got Herbert with the Chargers. Like, those would make sense. Well, Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk today actually threw out another idea.
If I'm Sean Payton, I'm fascinated with the possibility of taking Kyler Murray.
Sure.
And making Kyler Murray, Drew Brees, and the Roadrunner as a Frankenstein monster mashed together. You know, Drew Brees with a level of speed that Drew Brees would never have in his entire life. And who knows? Sean Payton's going to have his pick of multiple destinations, and we know he's coming back next year. He's talked about it enough.
Right.
And sorry, Cliff, but, you know, if you weren't 2-4 and 3-9 over the last 12 games and the struggles weren't there and the issues that we discussed weren't there, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I kind of like the idea of Payton coaching the Cardinals next year and seeing what he could do with Kyler Murray.
How about that? The Cardinals dynamic would be interesting, but what Florio said there, Sean Payton will have his pick of multiple opportunities, and we know he's coming back next year. Now, I think historically, Florio and Payton maybe haven't been the best of friends, but he's a plugged-in enough guy to know what that scuttle is, and you can listen to Sean Payton say it. That's great news for New Orleans, because if there is kind of a bidding war, if there is a market with multiple suitors, it's like in real estate. You want multiple offers, right? You want a multiple offer situation on your home. That way all these people are competing against each other, it drives up the price. It's the same thing here. You want multiple teams to want Sean Payton if you're the Saints. Because if that's the case, it's going to drive up the price of what it's going to cost to get Sean Payton. And the Saints right now need draft assets. That's great news for New Orleans to think that Arizona might be involved. Florio started that clip by talking about Seattle. He says he does a weekly hit in Seattle, and folks in Seattle were asking Florio, is Payton the guy to resurrect Russell Wilson's career? Like, could Payton go to Denver next year? You know, you'd have a one-and-done situation then. Maybe. I mean, point is, there's going to be a lot of options. It's going to benefit New Orleans. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're aboard with us here. Thursday show is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Quick break. When we come back, heading to Oxford, our buddy Neal McCready from Rebel Grove will join us. We'll talk a little Ole Miss next on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. For more than 60 years, our friends over at Clegg's Nursery have been serving the greater Baton Rouge area with 4 locations: Seagoneer Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Hey, remember, Halloween's coming up. I mean, today's the 20th, so you're 11 days out from Halloween. If you want to decorate your pumpkins, go to Clegg's. They got a great selection of pumpkins. Pick out a pumpkin or two. If you want to do that Halloween carving or you want to paint your pumpkins with the kids, great opportunity to do it. Clegg's has a great selection of pumpkins and hay bales and squash and gourds and all the different fall decor that you want for Halloween or all throughout the fall. They've got it at Clegg's Nursery, any of the 4 locations. And I can attest to this. The fall flowers have arrived. Erica went last weekend, picked out a whole slew of them. I had to plant them, but it's all there for you at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local, Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 60 months on new 2022 Ford F-150s. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. The Tigers are on the hunt. Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
Doing the honors is our good friend Neal McCready from rebelgrove.com. Been a long friend of the show. We always appreciate when we have a chance to catch up with him. Neal, thanks for the time as always, man. How are you?
Matt, as always, man, it's good to be with you. I appreciate you giving me some of your time earlier this week.
Of course, man. By the way, I'm curious. So, I've gotten a lot of feedback, obviously, from Ole Miss fans this week. I made a declaration that I think LSU is going to win the game and that I think Ole Miss is not the seventh best team in the country. And as what happens on the internet, it's triggered a lot of people. Do you think it's more me picking LSU or me saying I don't think Ole Miss is the seventh best team in the country?
You know, I just find it deplorable on your part that you would have an opinion on something as controversial as college football, right? I mean, you know, we're not supposed to have opinions on this stuff. I mean, this is life and death, man. I mean, the losers get executed Saturday night, isn't that right? I mean, it's so stupid that people get so worked up about this. It's dumb.
Well, they love their team.
No, I don't know what it is. I mean, look, here's the deal. I mean, Ole Miss people get mad at me for saying this, but it's the truth. Ole Miss has won 18 of its last 21 games as a program, which is really rarefied air. I mean, the only programs in the country that can say better it's Georgia, Ohio State, and Michigan. Okay, that's it. And I just don't think Ole Miss people are used to winning like this, and I think it makes them kind of nervous.
No, and I get it. I do. You look for validation, so I do get that. And I'm curious if that validation comes this weekend. If Ole Miss does come into Baton Rouge and win, do you feel that would be validating for not a program validating game, but for this team that would prove, hey, they're really a contender to beat anyone on the schedule?
Well, yeah, because at some point you're running out of games, right? So
Right.
in a scenario where Ole Miss goes to Baton Rouge and wins, that's 8-0. You're 2/3 of the way through the schedule, and you're frankly at that point one win away from a matchup against Alabama in which if you won, and again I'm saying if you won, for the record, I don't think Ole Miss is winning its next 3 games, not all of them, but if you were to beat LSU and you were to beat Texas A&M, you play Alabama for a right to win the SEC outright, basically in Week 10. So that's a really big deal. So yeah, would it be validating? I think so. I mean, if you go to LSU and you win, it probably tells people that yeah, you're more for real than those people who doubt them.
That's a great point too. The math works that way because then even if Ole Miss would lose 2, they would have a head-to-head tiebreaker over Alabama. So that is a great point. If they were to win this week,
I mean, look, if Ole Miss beats LSU, Texas A&M, and Alabama in the next 4 weeks, they have an open date between A&M and Alabama. They win the West.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge if, but that's a mathematical fact.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's a lot on the line, man. Okay, well, yeah, because they would beat LSU. Absolutely, yeah, that is, man. That there is a lot on the line when you say it that way. All right, let's talk about this team, Neal. I think when people think about Lane Kiffin, they always think about the creative offense, the passing. This team obviously has run it so much more. Why has this team been more effective running the football than they have throwing the football?
Matt, I think it's the thing about Lane that doesn't get appreciated enough is that for some reason, I think it's his social media and all that stuff. People think of him as this wide open, crazy pass guy. He's done some of that, but I think it's preferable for him that they're a run-oriented team. And they've got a couple of really good backs in Zach Evans, Quinshon Judkins, the freshman, who's going to be a really talented player. They've been able to run. Their offensive line is better suited for run blocking than it is pass blocking. They've got a quarterback in Jackson Dart who's pretty good with his feet, who's a tough kid, who has been an effective runner when they've wanted to run. So I think it's just that. I think it's what they do well. I mean, if you go back to his years at Alabama, he had a year with Derrick Henry where they ran it and ran it and ran it. And then he had a year with Cooper, the old wide receiver, Amari Cooper, where they threw it all over the place. I just think Lane's gift as an offensive mind, Brian Kelly talked about this earlier this week, his ability to kind of take what his team does well and focus on it and utilize it and maximize it.
How good's the offensive line?
It's very solid as a run blocking unit. It's okay pass blocking. You got a couple of redshirt freshmen at tackle, both right and left. Nick Broker, who's been in the SEC forever, moved from tackle to guard. He's a pretty solid pass blocker. They're okay as a pass blocking group. They're really good as a run blocking group. They're physical. I think they like to kind of get nasty a little bit. They lost their tight end, Michael Trigg, but the guy behind him is Chad Kelly's brother, Casey, who's more of a run blocker than he is a pass blocker. So, I think as a unit, they're more effective in the run game than they are in the pass game.
He's on Twitter at Neal McCready, RebelGrove.com. The offense has had times this year where they've had lulls. I think you and I have talked about that. When they have slowed, what's been the bugaboo?
Oh, it's a great question. As a team, it's the one thing that's really been the most interesting with them is that they have these periods where they look like a top 10 team, like a legitimate top 10 team where you're like, whoa, these guys are good. And then they follow them up with these lulls where they look very average, maybe even a little below average at times. I don't know what that's attributed to, frankly. I don't know whether that's just it's my theory, and it would be nothing but a theory, is that you've got this program where you have a whole bunch of transfer portal guys. They've never really played together. It's a season of first, and I think chemistry is a developing thing that happens over time with any team. And with a team that has this many transfers, it really takes time. I think that's what I'd go with, but I wouldn't want to bet a lot of money on it, man.
Let's flip the field and talk about that defense. And the thing that seems to be the cornerstone is they create pressure, they get sacks, TFLs, turnovers. What's the key to all of that working?
Well, for them, it's pretty basic stuff. They're good up front. Like, they're deeper than they've been up front in a while, but there's no Sam Williams on this team. So Cedric Johnson's been hurt the last couple of weeks. His absence has been a big deal for them. They need him healthy. They've got a better year out of Tavius Robinson on the other end than they've probably ever had from him before. He's been very impactful. They're deep at defensive tackle. They've been impactful there. They've got some linebackers. They brought in Troy Brown, a transfer from Central Michigan, who's been really good. He's been kind of banged up the last couple of weeks. I don't know the answer to your question, honestly. Here's the thing about Ole Miss's defense, right, is that so far this season, and look, it's not their fault. They've played the schedule that's been put in front of them, and they've won. But they've yet to play a team that has really had the outside guys that can stress the secondary, that can maybe have big play capability. Some of that with Kentucky with Barry and Brown, but Kentucky's offense is not really set up the way that I'm talking about. I think LSU's kind of is. LSU with Jaden Daniels, he's going to try to extend plays, and they've got those receivers. Butte's fantastic. I mean, the last time Ole Miss played at Tiger Stadium, I think Butte had like 3,000 yards receiving or something like that. So
something like that.
I mean, it was like, I don't know, 3,200 yards or something. I don't remember. I mean, he just kept running. I mean, but nobody's tried that on them. So can they stop that? I don't know. I mean, maybe. They love their corners. They have a freshman named Davison Igbinosun that they're just super high on. And so far this season, he's been great. But this will be the first big test. So, I mean, they want to put LSU into third and long, and then they've got to figure out a way to contain Daniels, and then they've got to make plays in the open field in much the same way that I've read some of the things you've said and listened to you. And LSU wants Daniels to throw some 50-50 balls to those talented wide receivers, and nobody's done that against Ole Miss so far this year. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. The odds makers have this as a 2-point game, so special teams could be key. LSU's been really bad on special teams this year. How's Ole Miss?
Ole Miss is really good in special teams, Matt. And I think, I do a show with Tyler Siskey, and we were talking about this earlier today. I think there are a couple of advantages, disadvantages that are pretty interesting, and I think this is one for LSU that they have to kind of overcome because they've been bad, as you said, on special teams, and Ole Miss has been really good on special teams. It's probably an area that LSU's probably, if you get inside their building, they're probably a little concerned about it. And, in the same way that for Ole Miss, they probably look at LSU and go, hey, a little worried about those skill guys, a little worried about those guys on the outside. Can we stop them? Can we contain them? And can we prevent the big play from happening against us? Those are probably the things that both programs are talking about.
Hey, Neal, last thing, and always appreciate your time. What is Lane Kiffin's got his blueprint to win this game in Tiger Stadium on Saturday. How does the game look?
For Ole Miss to win it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they continue to run the football. They run it effectively. Auburn stacked the box and didn't work. I think in Ole Miss's ideal world, LSU probably does some of the same stuff. It doesn't work. And then, maybe Jonathan Mingo hits a big play. Maybe they do some of that stuff where they take advantage of LSU having to, put just the math not working out defensively. And then defensively, I think it's pretty simple. I think it's you create some turnovers, you contain Jaden Daniels, and maybe you get him back into that mode where he doesn't want to take chances. And, you build a lead and you make LSU one-dimensional, and you kind of hope for the best at that point. Tiger Stadium is one of those crazy places. You know this a lot better than I do, but it can be a great it typically is a great home field advantage, but sometimes it goes against the home team a little bit. The fans aren't afraid to let the home team know they're a little pissed at them. Yeah. So sometimes that turns on them a little bit. So, I think it's you get ahead, you stay ahead, and you make them a little one-dimensional, and maybe you take advantage of what has been, I don't know if it's a special teams mismatch. I don't think that's the right word, but just one team has been pretty efficient in that category and one hasn't.
Yeah, LSU's been bad, not inefficient. They've been bad. I mean, it's okay to say they've been bad on special teams for sure. Do you know what uniform combo Ole Miss is wearing?
The fans want them to wear the powder helmet and the red jersey and the gray pants.
Yeah.
That has not been something that Lane goes to very often. If you made me guess, assuming that LSU's wearing the white top, I would guess Ole Miss wears powder.
Okay.
With white pants and probably the powder top. If you told me they did something crazy like white helmet, red jersey, white pants, I'd buy it.
Okay. I've said it before. The powder blue helmet, the red jersey, the gray pant, cleanest looking uniform in college football. It's a shame when you have something that's so choice that you don't do it all the time. I just don't get it. But,
Well, I mean, you've made Ole Miss fans mad a lot this week, but when you say that, you'll make them happy because a lot of the traditionalists feel the exact same way.
But they don't wear it. It's so crazy.
No.
Why don't you wear it?
No,
It's going to be so good. Wear it.
I think Kiffin, man, I think he leaves it up to his players, and as long as his players win, he lets them pick the uniform that they want to wear. And so if you made me guess, I'd guess powder top and white pants.
Well, good. Because I believe in psychology of that stuff. Go wear your little baby blues. It'll serve LSU well. How about that? All right, Neal McCready from Rebel Grove. I appreciate you, man. We'll see you later.
All right, Matthew. See you soon.
All right, be well. It's after further review. We always appreciate Neal. Of course, we appreciate Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. That's me. That's Ryan Terrio. That's our partner, Richard Tilley. That's all of our staff at Hudco. Hudco Roofing, listen, there's a lot of reasons why you might need roof work. A storm comes through, if it's hail, maybe it's just wear and tear on your roof, a branch falls. There's a lot of reasons you might need a roof repair or a roof replacement. The reality is, as homeowners, we might replace a roof once or twice in a lifetime. So trust experts that deal with this every day. That's us at Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. You can go to the website, HudcoRoofing.com. You get a free inspection. It is totally free, by the way. I mean, if anyone is charging you for an inspection, run the other way. The other thing I would encourage you to do, when you go to the homepage, you'll see the fortified roof icon. It's a green icon. Tap that fortified roof icon and learn more about the fortified roofing system installation. Hudco is the first and only Louisiana-based roofing company to be a certified fortified roofing company. You can learn more about a fortified roofing system, which can save you more than 50% on your insurance premiums. Learn more. Call 364-1007, 364-1007, 364-1007 for Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, it's after further review. The football weekend gets kicked off. Well, I guess we got it started yesterday. How about the Otter, by the way? Otter had he had App State last night on the money line. He had a money line parlay with App State and the Yankees. I'm sorry. And the Astros. It was the Yankees. It was a money line parlay on the Astros and App State on the money line. And he hit. So very nice job there by the Oddfather. Dude stays hot. And what did he tell us this week? 8-2.
In his prime time, NFL prime time in Otterlocks, yeah.
Otterlocks prime time is 8-2 in their last 10.
Tonight's prime time, right?
It is.
Yeah. Huh.
So I did break my rule yesterday. I bet his parlay.
Really?
I knew the Yankees weren't going to win yesterday.
That's a tough spot.
If they had won that game, I'd have been just over the moon. But realistically, like, you pounding beers and champagne.
Yeah.
You played your third game in 3 days. You hop on a plane after midnight local time in New York. You fly to Houston. You got to shake off the hangover. You're probably still drunk, actually. You got to go to the park and face Verlander. Oh, I'm stunned 17 dudes struck out. What'd you think was going to happen? I mean, maybe they slug some homers and they get a miracle and they win a game. And they came close, but, I mean, I didn't expect anything last night. So I had no problem. With it. So I bet the parlay last night. I did. I always tell you I don't bet Saints and LSU.
Okay.
Never said I won't bet Yankees games.
But you faded them. That's the impressive part.
I thought they were going to lose.
Yeah, and they did.
Did you have any confidence in the Yankees winning that game?
Absolutely not.
Of course. So,
no.
I mean, I can be pragmatic here. So, I don't know about tonight, though. Part of me is...
Interesting one, man.
I don't know what he's... So, I hate road teams on Thursday Night Football. Hate it. I mean, to play 2 games in 5 days, to basically play on Sunday, get treatment on Monday, practice on Tuesday, walk through and travel on Wednesday, play on Thursday, it's I don't know how a road team wins in the NFL on Thursday Night Football. I don't. Sucks. So If the Otter comes strong today with a play on the Cardinals, I may have to do it.
Mark the tape on that.
I know. That'd be a first.
Yeah.
You know what I did earlier this year, though? Against Auburn, when LSU got down 17-0, put a money line bet on LSU.
Hey, there you go.
That paid nicely.
That did.
It was so obvious. I mean, LSU just they get behind, just what they do.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not surprising when they get down. Anyway, all right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a break. Come back. We'll tell you what we're watching this football weekend. Tigers and the Pros coming ahead. J-Boy, Jake Crain with us in about 45 minutes. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. All right, y'all, we had our first cold snap. The last 2 nights we've been in the 30s. Tonight the low is 51. So it's not going to be as cold, but the cold weather, y'all, it's here. I mean, the season's changing. This is the time. This is the time to call River City's 1 Hour Air. You see the big yellow vans and trucks all over town with the giant clock on the side. You can't miss them. They're giant yellow vans and trucks. You cannot miss them going through traffic. Pretty brilliant marketing, actually. But what they offer, preseason heater safety check. Before the weather gets cold and you turn on your heater, have that heater system checked. Make sure it's efficient, it's clean, and it's safe, most importantly. You don't want to create a hazardous situation for yourself, for your family, for your property. So call River City's 1 Hour Air. Mention the Moscona special. They'll save you $30 on the preseason heater safety check. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
When I was a boy, I spent my days climbing trees, catching fish. Barefoot in the river I walked, listening to crickets, counting stars. This was home. After my stroke, I wondered if I'd make it back to the people and places I love. But I got the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Your card matters. Your home does too.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what
After Further Review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Please check out dropbiscuit.com and browse our growing library. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to Pops, Fame, You Talking to Me, For the People, Well Stated, or whatever Southern flavored audio biscuit you fancy. That's dropbiscuit.com.
LSU Daily.
That's on there.
LSU Daily.
It's on there.
Yeah, I should remind you, I do a daily LSU podcast called LSU Daily. It's essentially the same format for everyone who used to listen when I did Locked on LSU. I essentially did the same thing. I just do it under the Drop Biscuit umbrella now, which is our in-house studio here at Guarantee. So LSU Daily on your favorite podcast app. Appreciate it if you would subscribe up. All right, we're going to get to what to watch here in just a second this weekend. Yeah, it's been freezing cold. Literally. Well, I guess not literally because it was 37, right?
It's pretty close.
So tonight's going to be great, though, man. We're talking about in the break. 51. You gonna watch it? You have like an outdoor TV?
No. I'm going to be in my oversized recliner. Yeah, be there.
The old LSU baseball companion shows for those that watch. We became acquainted with Muso's oversized recliner.
Thing's comfy, bro.
I have, by the way. There is no judgment here. Erica was very opposed to getting a recliner. Like, she wanted, like some fancy-looking den decor. I was like, I want a recliner. So, damn it, I bought a leather recliner. And it sits over in the corner, and it's mine. Nobody else sits in it. I'm the only one. But you know what? I really like just kicking my feet up.
It's so good.
It is so good. I love a recliner. Well, I mean, does that say something about you? Maybe this could be our Citizens Bank poll question of the day. Do you like a recliner?
Yeah,
yes or no?
I'll post that. And what it says about you is you enjoy comfortable naps.
Yes,
that's what it says about you.
Yes. Paul, recliner, yay or nay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't understand. This was mind-boggling to me when I had this conversation with Erica. Apparently, recliners are a thing that aren't. If you're just talking about, if you're doing design, like you want something that's more chic or that's in the room, whatever. I'm like, this is not about how it looks. This is all about a comfortable place to sit my bottom and to kick my feet up and lay back and set a bowl of like peanuts or something on my belly while I lay back, or a beer or something like that. That's what that's about. I'm about that life. And you know what? I'm going to do that this weekend. We're watching football. And when we're watching football, what are we watching for? Let's find out.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
All right, I'll start us off. You know what I'm watching? I'm going to look forward to watching.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
The end of Syracuse. I can't wait. I'm way too invested in this. I hope Clemson beats them by 35 points.
Why do you hate Syracuse?
Because they're not good, Matt.
Okay.
That's why. They're not. And if Devin Leary wasn't out for the year, NC State would have ended them last week.
You know what they say about your aunt? If your aunt had ifs and buts and cigarette
and candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But it is
butts.
Christmas because the Pels are winning, apparently.
Yeah.
So
the
end of Syracuse.
That here in a few minutes. Okay.
The end of Syracuse.
Ollie, just go.
All right. I'm watching Texas, Oklahoma State.
No, you're not.
Probably not, but I'm going to talk about
it. Okay. All right.
They both try to remain in the hunt for the Big 12 title game. Both TCU and Kansas State are unbeaten, so a loss for either of these teams could be costly. Texas has won 3 straight. Their only losses have come to Bama by a point, and then in overtime to Texas Tech.
Chip Kelly takes his undefeated UCLA Bruins to Oregon, the place where he once was the man. Chip Kelly going back to Eugene. Oregon's 5-1. You realize Oregon hadn't lost since they got blown up by Georgia in the opener? They're ranked 10th in the country. A lot of us have just forgotten about it. They got walked and worked by Georgia that day. They haven't lost since. Their best win, however, was against then number 12 BYU, who ain't no longer number 12. So Oregon's got a lot of proving to do. They are a 6-point home favorite over the Bruins. Can Chip Kelly and the Bruins remain undefeated as the Pac-12's final playoff hope.
Does Vandy get their SEC win? No. This is the weekend it could happen.
No,
We've pointed to it all the time. If they're going to get one, it's going to be against Missouri, who's a 14-point favorite in the game. But we'll see if it happens.
The return of Dak Prescott.
Oh, now I am interested in this.
So he injured his thumb week 1 versus Tampa.
Right.
Your guy, Cooper Rush.
My guy.
4-1 as the Cowboys starter.
Encourage him.
But you know what? I think I'm the one who stamped out Coop when I faded him last week.
Yeah. Oh, such good friends. Bet against him.
Hey, I got bills to pay. Like I told you on Twitter. Got bills to pay. One day when you got bills to pay, you'll understand.
I have bills to pay.
You got no bills to pay.
I have bills to pay.
Bills to pay. You got bills to pay, you'll understand.
Bet against my friends.
Oh, I bet against the Yankees last night.
They're not your friends. They're your
money is money.
Team. And Cooper Rush isn't even your friend.
Cooper Rush is my very good friend. You're right. He's more like a brother than a friend is what he is.
Jesus.
Anyway.
Paul, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right. We're short on time anyway. Hit the stupid sounder. Thank you.
What
is that? What are you doing? Looney Tunes over there?
No, it's just
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
You said
what
get a
this?
sound effect. That's a sound effect.
Like a transitional sound effect, which is like a swoop or a pop or a boom. Not Looney Tunes. Not Wile E. Coyote getting blown off the face of the earth by the Roadrunner. Kansas at Baylor. You mentioned will Vanderbilt get their SEC? What's their streak at, by the way?
Who, Vandy?
Yeah, they're losing. SEC losing streak.
Oh, God.
How could you throw that out there and not throw out the number? Okay, look up Vandy's SEC losing streak real quick. Kansas. They're at Baylor. If Kansas wins this week, they reach bowl eligibility. The last time Kansas was bowl eligible is the last Kansas season you remember. The 2007 season where they went to the Orange Bowl and beat Virginia Tech in the January 08 Orange Bowl. It has been 15 years since Kansas has been bowl eligible. One win away. Do they get it this weekend against Baylor?
Giant NFL spreads is something I'm very curious in. 7 games, Matt. 7 games, a touchdown or greater spread this weekend in the NFL. It's been a pretty good year for the underdogs as well. So let's see if any of those actually cover.
The veteran NFL quarterbacks are struggling. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, they're all a combined 8-10 through 6 weeks of the NFL season. They have lost to quarterbacks like Geno Smith, Kenny Pickett, Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson. You got Brady yelling at his O-line. The Broncos have only scored more than 20 points once this season. They're struggling.
24 for Vanderbilt, by the way.
24.
Ends tonight or Saturday.
No, it doesn't.
Probably not.
And Bucks at Panthers. Tampa, dead last in the NFL in rushing yards per attempt. How about that? That's what happens when you have your total offensive line overhaul like we talked about. Carolina, 12th in rush defense. Leonard Fournette, can he get going this weekend? Carolina, 3-17 since their 3-0 start last year. Doesn't it seem like a lifetime ago when Carolina started 3-0? Tampa, 10-2 in their last 12 against the NFC South. Do the Bucks finally get that offense jump started? This would be the weekend to do it against an interim coach and a floundering Carolina team. All right, that's what we're watching this weekend in the NFL and college football. We will reset all of that when we come back here on Monday. We'll grab a break. Muso will have Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR. It's a raving fan shout-out. Presented by Darin James & Associates, brokered by eXp Realty.
Got a text earlier today from my guy, Darin James. He said, Scone, wanted to let you know, Hunter St. Cyr, an AFR listener, reached out today about a listing. He and his brothers have been listening for about 5 years. They live in Nashville and tune in every day. So big shout-out to Hunter St. Cyr. We appreciate it for being a loyal listener, and thanks for calling Darin James. You can call Darin as well. I'll give you the number in just a second, but remember, if you're buying or selling a home, call the realtor that sells more homes than anyone. Remember, Darin is on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1,000 realtors in America. That's based on the number of homes sold. That is not an opinion. That is objective fact. There's nobody that sells more homes than Darin. So call Darin James to get your home sold. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com for Darin James.
Think real estate, think Darin James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience, shopper style.
Oh, yeah! Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
NFL Live is reporting Andy Dalton will start tonight. Jameis Winston is the third quarterback. So Jameis should be in uniform, but will be the third quarterback in the game. I would assume Taysom would be number 2. All right, Musso, Tigers in the Pro.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Thursday Night Football tonight. Of course, you'll see Tyrann Mathieu for the New Orleans Saints. You will not see Jarvis Landry for the New Orleans Saints. You will not see Darrell Williams for the Arizona Cardinals. But just keep an eye out for Honey Badger then. Major League Baseball.
Rashard Lawrence is in Arizona.
Rashard Lawrence is in Arizona on the defensive line. That is true. There's so many of them all around. It's tough to keep track sometimes. NLCS yesterday, we were keeping you up to date on the show. Aaron Nola's day finished a bit rough. 4 2/3, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 6 strikeouts on the day. It finished rough because his brother, Austin Nola, started the rally that eventually knocked him from the game. 1 for 4 was Austin Nola, I should say, with a run scored and an RBI. Matt, you sent me this stat from Twitter.
I love this stat.
Eno gave out this stat.
Whoever that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is, but he's got good information. Aaron Nola has thrown 10,000 fastballs in his career. 9 of them have been 96 miles per hour or greater. 3 of those 9 were to Austin Nola yesterday. He was a little fired up.
No, not yesterday. Just in his career.
Just in general.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I thought it was just yesterday. No. Okay.
Still incredible.
Still great. ALCS, Bregman 0 for 3 with a walk. He'll be in the lineup again today. NBA action, Tari Eason's debut. 15 minutes, 8 points, 7 boards. Really solid game there. For the Nets, Ben Simmons fouled out with 4 points. He was minus 26. Cam Thomas scored a deuce in the game. And Naz Reid did not play last night. Coach's decision for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, and the coach's decision is Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert are freaking phenomenal together, and Naz is never playing again.
We got to get Naz some playing time.
He's got to get off that team is what he's got to get.
All right. For that too.
Brought to you by Lee. Thank you. Brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, if you are thinking about popping the question, remember, Lee Michaels has helped guys in Baton Rouge pop the question for 40 years. They've got an exceptional selection of gorgeous diamonds, the highest quality at great prices, and they always give you the Lee Michaels experience. No matter your budget, you can feel confident going into Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. All right, y'all, hour number 3 coming up right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. You'll get to the website. You know, one of the things that really sets Michelli apart is, and especially right now with so much going on with everybody here, supply chain and all that stuff, when you have devices that may need to be calibrated, a lot of times what businesses will do is they'll ship them to one of these calibration labs. Well, that could take weeks to ship it, have it calibrated, and then shipped back to you. Just call Michelli. Their local reps can come by your office, pick up your equipment, bring it back to the lab, calibrate it, bring it back. So something that with other companies may take weeks, with Michelli takes days. It's about saving you time, making you more efficient, saving you money. They are an ISO 17025 accredited laboratory. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, celebrating 75 years in business, and they are hiring. Want to work for a great local company? Go to Michelli.com and hit the careers tab. Michelli.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 60 months on new 2022 Ford F-150s. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Game 2 of the ALCS tonight in Houston. The Astros took Game 1 against the Yankees. 7 Eastern for our coverage on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Framber Valdez starts for Houston. Luis Severino for New York. It's an off day in the NLCS. The Padres and Phillies tied a game apiece. Game 3 tomorrow night in Philadelphia. Week 8 in the NFL kicks off tonight in Glendale with the Cardinals hosting the Saints. Our Keyshawn Johnson says Arizona coach Cliff Kingsbury is in over his head.
I'm not calling for the man's job. It ain't my job to call for his job. But I do know that Steve Wilkes, black or white, got fired after 1 year. You never gave him an opportunity that you've given Cliff Kingsbury, sitting at 26, 28, and 1. And you extended him another 5 years at close to $6 million a year.
Keyshawn Johnson on Key J and Max. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott goes through a full practice today for the first time since breaking his thumb in Week 1. Prescott says the right thumb is fine, and he says he'll start Sunday against the Lions.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Topley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. By the way, if you are looking for something to do tonight, LSU women's basketball, their kickoff event is tonight starting at 6 o'clock. You can go online to get all the info at lsusports.net. It's on their Twitter. It's a free event. You can meet Kim Mulkey. You can meet all the players, the roster, get autographs. Really good night tonight. So if you're looking for something that's family-friendly to do, get on out to the PMAC. It starts in 1 hour. It's open to the public, so go check out the LSU Lady Tigers basketball team here in their kickoff event tonight, starting at 6 o'clock at the Maravich Center. All right, glad to have you aboard with us here. So it is a busy night. Of course, you got that event at the PMAC tonight. You got Thursday night football tonight as well with the Saints and the Cardinals, which I will give you at the bottom of this hour, full preview and prediction of Saints and Cardinals. If you're just joining and missed it, NFL Live just minutes ago reported Andy Dalton will start tonight for the Saints. Jameis will be in uniform, but he will be the third quarterback. So it would be the emergency quarterback tonight for the Saints, which means they would go Andy Dalton. If something happened to Andy, it would be Taysom Hill. That in and of itself is I don't know whether to say that's concerning or if it's telling. Maybe both. Maybe the concerning part is that if something happened to Andy Dalton and you wouldn't play Jameis, clearly Jameis's injury is significant, which he had a broken back. I've said that a million times. Like, of course it's significant. It's the reason that I don't think he should have played against Carolina. It's easy to say that in hindsight, but this isn't hindsight. I said that a month ago, but it's where they are. So they're clearly giving him his time to get back, to get healthy, to where he would only play today in an emergency situation. But the fact that he's at least there and available shows the progress that he would be making. And after this, you get 10 days off. You play Thursday night. The benefit is you get the extra rest. You play 2 games in 5 days, but then you get the extra rest on the back end. So it acts kind of like a second bye, not exactly, but close to it. So when you get back for next week, coming off of your short week here, and boy, you're entering the whole schedule obviously is a grind, but you're entering this part of the schedule. You're in the midst of the part of the schedule that we talked about before the season, where you had Cincinnati, then the short week, then you're home against Raiders, Ravens, then at Steelers, home against Rams, at Niners, Bucks. I mean, this was the whole point we talked about all year, all offseason, was start fast, because look at what that meat is in the middle, and you're in it. So see if they can get a win here tonight, and then come back after this with 10 days off to play the Raiders, a Raiders team which is struggling themselves. So, but it really starts tonight. I mean, you've got to get this win here. If you get this win here to move yourself to 3-4, you get 10 days to rest and prepare. You get a home game against the Raiders, a game that today looks more winnable than when the season started. And same thing I would say for the Ravens game as well. So, but get this one tonight, and at least keep yourself in striking distance. All right, so we'll give you a full preview and prediction of Saints Cardinals coming up at the bottom of the hour. Jake Crain, our friend J-Boy from Crain and Company, he'll be with us in about 10 minutes. Something, by the way, Jake's blown up, and happy for him. He does an awesome job. But something that a lot of people probably don't know, or maybe if you don't know his story, you don't know, he was actually the special teams coordinator at South Alabama, and then went from South Alabama, I believe, to Montana, where he was coaching as well. And so he's worked with special teams and running back. So I want to ask him, as a guy who's been a special teams coordinator, like, why is LSU special teams so bad? And can you fix it quickly? So we'll talk about that with J-Boy, and then we'll look at the rest of the college football weekend ahead. All right, it's after further review. Look, I mean, Muse, if you would please, I would appreciate my seasonal music in honor of what happened last night. Because if you are not watching, so last night left here and went over to Oliver Twist for scone and tea. And to tell you, this was the greatest illustration possible of why October is the best sports month on the calendar. T-Bob and I are sitting there at Oliver Twist. We're talking about LSU, Ole Miss, a top 10 matchup in Tiger Stadium, or top 10 team coming into Tiger Stadium. Today, the Saints are playing on Thursday Night Football. And we're sitting there last night, and on my tablet, I've got the Pelicans Nets, and over my shoulder, we got the ALCS with the Yankees and the Astros. It's the best sports month on the calendar. That's not even to mention, you know who's coming back? By the way, you know what I forgot about with Otter Locks tonight, Muse? You know what I forgot?
I know what you forgot. Do it.
The NHL's back. We got a Colucci pick with Otter later today. I'm fired up for all of it. Anyway, as we have long stated on the show, I won't talk about the NBA until Christmas. Middle of football season, it's hard to justify. Flush that down the turlet, y'all, as my grandmother would say. Shout out, Grammy. I love you. Flush that down the turlet. Because we are talking about the Pelicans. Y'all, did you hear what Kyrie Irving... If you missed the game last night, no worries. Pels go on the road to Brooklyn. They take on the Nets. Win wire to wire. 130 to 108. 130 to 108. Wire to wire. Never trailed. Zion goes for 25 and 9. 50% from the floor. Every point came in the paint, by the way. How about this from ESPN Stats and Info? Zion, in 86 career... He's only played 86 career games. He's basically played one full season. 86 career games. To have 20 points in the paint, at least 20 points in the paint. He's done that in 45 of his 86 appearances. Do you realize in that time, from the beginning of the 2019-2020 season, the 19-20 season, the only player with more games where he scored 20 points or more in the paint The only player is Giannis, who's done it 74 times. By the way, Zion missed an entire season. My point is, with these numbers, Zion would be better and more efficient at scoring in the paint than Giannis, an MVP. It's insane what this team has the potential to be. This is what Kyrie Irving said. His team got their ass whipped. This is what Kyrie Irving said last night after the game.
New Orleans came in with an intent to show us why they're going to be in the hunt for championships over the next few years. They have a good foundation with Brandon Ingram and Zion, and then you add in defensive-minded player like Herbert and C.J. McCollum. They all were clicking tonight, and you see just the spread out of the scoreboard. They did everything.
They did everything. We didn't have to wait till Christmas, y'all. The Pelicans brought us Christmas in October today. You watch that game, the Pelicans assisted on 31 baskets last night. Let me put that into perspective for you. Last year, the Charlotte Hornets led the NBA in assists per game with 28. Charlotte led the NBA in assists per game with 28 last year. Pels assisted on 31 baskets. Y'all, you've got a future Hall of Famer in C.J. McCollum, who had 21 points last night, by the way, and 6 assists. Unselfish future Hall of Famer. Brandon Ingram is one of the most dynamic scorers in the NBA today. 28 points last night, led the Pelicans. He is a budding perennial all-star. Herbert Jones is a potential Defensive Player of the Year candidate. You are loaded at the guard positions, on top of just McCollum, where you can bring in Alvarado, whose energy and defense off the bench. Trey Murphy, 4 of 6 last night from 3. You need 3-point scoring off the bench? Boom. Thank you very much. Y'all, that's not to consider Jonas Valanciunas, which gives you rim protection and the ability to score in the paint, a big body that can create spacing. And that's all without even saying you've got this freak show in Zion that nobody can defend. Nobody can defend him. He is basically, with his efficiency and scoring in the paint, on par with Giannis. It's stunning what they have built. It really is, because a year ago, this team started 1-13. It's just stunning to think how dramatically they have turned this thing around in such a short amount of time. I mean, this is no get. Listen, guys, it's 1 of 82. It is 1 of 82. They got 81 to go. They got to stay healthy. There will be ebbs and flows. It's October, okay? It's October. I'm not telling you this team's winning a championship. What I'm telling you is, if you're someone who has been, who cares about the Pelicans, or I loved the NBA when it was Magic and Michael and Bird, they lost me. This is the time to come back to the NBA. The young star power is incredible, and this team is everything people who are NBA naysayers say they hate. This team is the antithesis of all of that. They are selfless. 31 assists last night. They play great defense. They held the Nets to 108, and you got a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Herb. They can score inside and out. You want great shooters? Here comes Trey Murphy off the bench. 4 of 6 from 3, y'all. You got a future Hall of Famer in C.J. McCollum, who is playing selfless basketball, trying to help elevate these young guys to go win a championship. I mean, you got guys that want to be here, want to play together, want to be great together. I don't know how you can sit here today and not be excited. Y'all, the Saints play in 2 hours. I'm as absurd a Saints fan as you'll ever see in your life. The Saints play in 2 hours. LSU's hosting a top 10 Ole Miss team on Saturday in Tiger Stadium. That's not lost on me. And here I am in the 5 o'clock hour on a Thursday in October talking about the first game of the Pelican season. A lot of y'all are already bought in, and good for you. If you're teetering thinking, if you're one of those people who's punted the NBA for a long time, the NBA stylistically left you, whatever, get it, it's time to come back, y'all. Arms are open and the water is warm. And this team is so much fun to watch. They are going to earn so much love and respect. Everybody wants to see a winner. You got one. You have a team that is stay healthy, great young coach, respected by his players, great blend of veteran leadership, great young players, scoring inside and out. You got everything you need. You have everything you need. It's just about now this team growing together to become a veteran team that dominates. I hate Christmas music.
Yeah, we go through this every year.
Overrated.
You Scrooge.
Christmas music.
Scrooge.
Overrated. Hey, but it's my commitment to it. We talk about the NBA when it's Christmas. Guess what? It's going to be Christmas for the next 2 months. All right, it's AFR. Oh, I'm late. Let's talk to J-Boy next.
AFR.
Man, I'm fired up about this, y'all. Saturday, obviously a big college football day, and our friends over at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, through their charitable arm, Gordon Gives, they've launched the Playing for Pink campaign. Of course, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so what Gordon is doing is through the Gordon Gives campaign, every time a Get Gordon athlete makes a big play, if it's a big play, records a stat, a big hit, big run, something like that, that will unlock donations to 3 different charities, in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and in North Louisiana. Of course, in Baton Rouge, Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. In Lafayette, the Miles Perrett Cancer Services Breast Cancer Support Group. And in North Louisiana, the Louisiana Cancer Foundation for Research and Education. So, all these Get Gordon athletes, they got Gordon, they got it done, and Gordon's getting it done for breast cancer awareness this weekend as well. 888-8888, 888-8888, or getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, rolling along. Start our buddy J-Boy. Jake Crain from Crain and Company. Go check it out every weekday morning. Go subscribe up on the Crain and Company YouTube channel. J-Boy, how are you, man?
Man, I'm doing great. I didn't know they let you play your iPod playlist for the show.
They don't. I tell Muso that he can play whatever he wants. I don't care if he plays fart noises. But I don't even know who sings that song, but I like it. Who sings that?
That's not
It's a great deflection, Matt. We all know you know who does. We all know you know who does.
So actually, maybe not so fun fact, but legitimately, anything that's music post, say, 2007, unless if it's like a really well-known Beyonce song or something like that, I really don't know it. Like,
of course.
No, I'm really serious. Like, it's kind of bizarre.
Oh no, Matt. I know you well enough to know you're serious.
I know. I used to do music radio early in my career, so I know a lot of like really one-off random stuff, but from a certain period in there. Wait, so who does sing that? I really don't know.
Is it like All American Rejects or somebody like? It's somebody in that vein. Somebody who's pissed at their father.
Music. No, All American Rejects was the one. Wait, who was it?
Well, that is Metro. The song was by Metro Station, released in 2007. Actually, by the way.
I would have never gotten Metro Station. But All American Rejects were the ones that sang. Oh hell, I forgot.
Gives You Hell was a popular one by them.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. I know that one.
Move Along was a popular
Move Along.
song.
That's what I was thinking. It was Move Along. Thank you, Muse. Thank you. Move Along was the one I was thinking. All right. Anyway, let's move along.
Yeah.
All right. I led into this. I think a lot of people don't know that before your media career, you were a college coach. You were a special teams coordinator at South Alabama. LSU special teams, Jake, have been so bad this year. Like, there's no way to tap dance around it. And it's not like it's just one thing, right? It's not like they have an inaccurate kicker that they can go just recruit a new one. It's like every phase, every week, it's something different that malfunctions. At the root, what is the core of that problem?
Well, typically it's one of a couple things. I always used to tell my guys, especially the young guys, because, still in a lot of high school, special teams is kind of, looked down upon. We're just trying to get through it. I always used to tell our guys, look, special teams is nothing but a football play, just from a different amount of space. Like, for example, kickoff return and kickoff is nothing but a run fit from a further distance in between. The kickoff team, you are just fitting the run. Most kickoff returns are set up just like power with the kick. Are two different double teams anytime you want to zone it. So at the end of the day, it's very fundamental. It is football. The positions are called something different, but it's still the game of football. It's blocking and tackling just from different angles and depths. That's one thing. So you can't ever lose sight that it's just football fundamentals, the same things that mess you up on offense, the same things that mess you up on defense, not keeping contained, not knowing leverage when you're attacking a kickoff returner or a punt returner. So that's one thing. Another thing is when you see rosters that may not be as full as they're going to be, or maybe a coach has to take over a roster that was depleted of depth, or maybe you're on probation, like, Lane Kiffin and USC used a punter, kicker, and kickoff guy as the same guy to be able to save scholarships. You really see it on special teams. That's where you really see lack of depth and lack of talented depth. I don't think that's LSU's problem. Okay. I think LSU has good enough players to be able to go out there and be effective, because you need to be a good player, but it's a lot easier to focus when you just play special teams and you're a third stringer on defense or offense. So I think it's lack of fundamentals. I mean, hell, look at field goal. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple formula to be able to get a good field goal off. I'm not saying it's easy. It's actually one of the most suckiest things in football to have to ride the lightning sometimes when you're protecting against field goals. So you can't turn it into this big thing that's outside of football. It comes down to fundamentals, blocking and tackling, angles, and understanding assignments, and the communication's not been good on that front.
So Jake, when LSU's 7 games into the season, right? And you mentioned the blocked PAT, but man, like, they had an illegal formation on a punt this week against Auburn. I know you watched that game. LSU had 4 special teams penalties in the first half. It was like every time there was a special teams play, there was an issue. They allowed the 47-yard return on the opening kickoff against Florida. They've kicked the ball out of bounds. They've muffed punts and kicks. It's everything. Like, how do you fix it?
Well, the easiest thing to fix is the ones you can control, right? The illegal formations, the illegal procedures, kicking the ball out of bounds, which is a controllable thing. You never want to kick it to the middle of the field and kick it out of bounds. But those are the easiest to eliminate because those are mental. You have total control over those. It's nothing that the other team is doing. So that's something you have to fix. Sometimes when you do have to play from that amount of space away from each other, you get more effort penalties, or what I call, physical penalties.
Sure.
You grab the face mask. You may have got your hand a little bit on the outside when it should have been more on the inside. You can live with those somewhat, but it's the controllable ones, pre-snap, and the controllable ones when the ball's in the air. You know when there's a block in the back. Nothing drives me crazier than two things. A block in the back, not only when the play's in front of you, but when you're behind the play. That's the thing that drives me the craziest. But then the second one is understanding where you're at on the field and where the return is. It's just like blocking on the offensive line. If I'm a returner and I set up one of my hold-up guys who thinks I'm going inside and I go outside and they react to the defender going outside and hold them, that's really on me because I didn't hit it where it was supposed to go. So you control the controllables. Some of the stuff you got to live with. But at the rate they're doing it, you would think it would come down at some point.
All right, so at its most basic level, 7 games in, they got 5 to play. Is it realistic to expect they'll get better at special teams at this point?
I would think so. I'm a firm believer in the longer it goes on. I mean, you have different counts on punt. It works in different ways for different guys. But it just surprises me how bad they are with who they have coaching them, to be honest with you. I think everybody at LSU is surprised because of that. But I would not be shocked if they continue to get better because, I mean, hell, it can't really get much worse.
I know. You say who they have coaching them. I mean, but, like, I can't tell you that I know much about Brian Polian. I mean, I can look at his resume.
I know he grew up in a family that is just immersed in football. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's like if he was Guy Fieri's son opened up a taco truck. I'm going to trust you for a while.
Does Guy Fieri have a son?
I do not know that. That is the pop culture. I don't know, but if he does, he probably has the same hair as Justin Timberlake and Clay Aiken.
Well, anybody with hair, I'm jealous of. So good on him, even if it looks like Timberlake and Aiken. He's on Twitter at @JakeCrain_. Give him a follow. The other thing too, and I want to talk about some of the other games this weekend, but I did want to ask you about Ole Miss's running game because I know you coach running backs as well. So when you look at Judkins, when you look at Evans, and what Ole Miss does. Like, why is it so effective? Kind of when everybody knows what they want to do is run the ball.
Well, you got two different type of runners. The way Judkins runs is very different than the way Evans runs. Evans is such a threat out of the backfield, catching the ball as well. It scares the hell out of you, especially when they go 20 personnel, which is 2 backs and no tight. But I think. If you're looking at stopping it, LSU up front, I know you've had guys that have gotten hurt. We all know the Mason Smith situation, but I feel like they're good enough to be able to make Jackson Dart have to beat you through the air. I think that's what you have to do, which is crazy to think of with a Lane Kiffin coach team. And I think it's a credit to Lane Kiffin that he's malleable enough as a head coach to realize, hey, we are a running team that runs to pass. We have a quarterback that can keep the ball on the RPO. That's a threat there, and he's playing to their strengths. A lot of coaches don't do that as easy and simple as it sounds. Their ego's too big and they're too stubborn. Lane has realized that. Judkins is more of your thunder. Evans is more of your lightning, even though Judkins is not slow by any stretch of the imagination, and he's going to end up being the best one, in my opinion, when you look at who makes it in the NFL. But that's a story for another day. But I do feel like LSU is good enough. If they take away the run early and make Jackson Dart have to beat you through the air, if you've watched Jackson Dart go through his progression, he knows what he's looking at, but for some reason he doesn't see linebackers in coverage very well. And I'm not just talking about the Mike when he's dropping in the window or the Will when he's dropping in the window. He doesn't see the nickel well. And that's really surprising for a team that runs as many RPOs as Ole Miss does, because a lot of those RPOs, you're reading that nickel to decide if you're going to keep the ball and pop that slant or maybe keep the ball and run if he turns his back because he's in man. So that's something to watch out for. Ole Miss, I think, is a good team. I do not think they are an elite team. If you make Jackson Dart have to dribble with his left a little bit, I think it could get really interesting.
Okay, so that's where I was going to go next, actually, is and you answered it directly, but I'll ask you to elaborate. I was going to ask if you're a believer in Ole Miss as a top 10 team. Look, they've beaten the teams they played. They're 7-0. but they've got the 109th ranked strength of schedule. So what really do we know? So if you're not a believer in them as the number 7 team or top 10 team, why not?
I just think Ole Miss has too many holes. And when you look at Ole Miss, while they have beaten every team they played, and I am by no stretch of the imagination saying they are a bad football team. They are a good football team. I do not think it really reflects how good they are with where they're ranked, though, but I don't disagree with putting them there. They've earned it. What I think is when you look at this team offensively and you look at this team defensively, there are ways to attack them and shut them down at what they do best. When you look at Ole Miss, and using the transitive property is dangerous in college football, but the way they played against Auburn and the way Auburn was able to have success running the ball when Ole Miss knew all Auburn could do was run the ball. So that's one thing. When you're not able to take away a strength on defense consistently, and we've seen Ole Miss struggle with some teams, then make a big play on special teams or make a play on defense to be able to pull ahead and go ahead and pull away of teams they're better than. I just feel like, Matt, when I look at LSU and Ole Miss, you're playing down there. It's at night. LSU played horrible in their last big home game against Tennessee from the kickoff on. Jaden Daniels last week actually took advantage of the ball down the field. That was like the last level he had to face or beat to be able to go fight the boss. It's the last tool he had to learn because now that's when his feet are really going to kill you. When I look at Ole Miss on offense and I look at LSU on offense, I feel like Jaden Daniels is the most dynamic playmaker when he's taking advantage of that third level, or at least that third level is a threat. Because if I'm worried about you attacking the ball downfield with Butte and Neighbors and the rest of the aliens that LSU has running around out there, it opens up that run game a little bit, not only for the running back, but for Jaden Daniels. That's why Brian Kelly came out in the media and said, yeah, he has no interceptions, but we're not getting a return on our investment because teams aren't afraid of us throwing the ball down the field.
He's on Twitter at @Crain_. Crain and Company weekday mornings, 6:30 a.m. Central Time on the Crain and Company YouTube channel. Make sure you go subscribe up. By the way, I'll be on with the guys tomorrow at 7:15 a.m. Very much looking forward to that. Last thing for you, J-Boy. I am a believer in UCLA.
Yes.
Okay. Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Man,
I got some company. Okay.
I mean, Matt, here's the thing about UCLA. UCLA is doing this year what Utah typically does in the Pac-12 and what Oklahoma State and Baylor did in the Big 12 last year. They are beating teams by being more physical than they are.
Yes.
So, name one thing I thought I'd never say. UCLA is a physical football team. That's like saying the choir is great at being ninjas. It just doesn't make sense in the same sentence. But watching Charbonnet, and I think the transfer portal and getting Zach Charbonnet has brought a little bit of a physical edge to UCLA because he is really dynamic. He's James Conner made over, and you're seeing it rub off on DTR, who we know has a bunch of talent. He just hadn't put it together. I think he's got that dog in him a little bit this year. He's been through the ringer. I think UCLA goes and beats Oregon. Will they go through the regular season undefeated up into the championship game? I don't know, but to me, Chip Kelly has done his best coaching job that I've seen him do in a long time up to this point, and they're doing it with physicality. To use a baseball term, Matt, they're pitching backwards in the Pac-12.
I kind of like it, man. LSU got an up-close and personal look at UCLA last year in the Rose Bowl. Didn't like what we saw, and they've just gotten better with everybody back. All right, man. Jake Crain, y'all make sure y'all subscribe up to Crain and Company weekday mornings, 6:30 a.m. Central. Crain and Company YouTube channel, streaming every single weekday morning. Get it on all the podcast apps as well. Hey, you're the man. Always appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Look forward to tomorrow as well.
Hey, love coming on, brother. Can't wait to talk to you in the morning.
All right, dude. We'll see you then. That's Jake Crain. You'll follow him on Twitter at @JakeCrain_. We're brought to you by DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and y'all, basketball is back, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. That is DraftKings. The DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge. New customers bet just $5, any $5 NBA moneyline bet. If your team wins, they'll give you $200 in free bets. Also, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. You got to opt in, so go to the app, make sure you opt in, but it's all there at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge. Monster night, y'all. Otter Locks is coming up. We're going to give you picks on Thursday Night Football. Of course, Saints, Cardinals. We're going to give you picks on college football. You got baseball. You got the ALCS game 2 tonight. You've got hockey with Colucci coming up. Picks. I mean, you want to get in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge.
21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. Parlay and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-770-STOP.
All right. We are going to grab a break, come back. I'll give you a preview and prediction on Saints Cardinals. Quite honestly, I still don't even know what I'm going to pick. I still don't know what I'm going to pick on this game. I've been waffling all week. I just got to make a decision. So we'll do that, and we'll get to Otter Locks coming up in about a little more than 10 minutes from right now. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Of course, by now you know all this month, 10 more days left in October. 11, excuse me, it's the 20th. All this month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and our friends at the Baton Rouge General Hospital love spreading so much of the good information about breast cancer awareness and, as they say, protect your pumpkins. So, ladies listening, you know the drill by now. Go get your mammogram. Gentlemen, the men listening, make sure the ladies in your life have gotten their mammogram. If they haven't, make sure they do. 1 in 8 women, 1 in 8 will be diagnosed with an invasive form of breast cancer in her lifetime. 1 in 8. Now, the great news is that because of early detection, survival rates have increased dramatically over the past 2 decades. But still, roughly 85% of women diagnosed with breast cancer have no family history, so make sure you get that annual mammogram. Early detection is the key to saving lives. Learn more at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit. We get it done with passion for our fans and love for our community. We are the Tigers. Get it done.
Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah!
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
A couple of good days of practice. Obviously, most of this has all been walked through today or the last couple of days, and so we're excited about getting back out on the field and having an opportunity to compete. So,
Dennis Allen, we met with the media on Wednesday before the team took off for Arizona. We are less than 2 hours away. Cardinals and Saints on Thursday Night Football. I'm not expecting a good game. Thursday Night Football rarely produces that. This season, Chiefs beat the Chargers 27-24. That was in week 2, the first Thursday night game of the year. The Browns beat the Steelers 29-17 in week 3. When you run through the rest of the Thursday Night Football schedule, I mean, you had that the game where Joey B and the Bengals won 27-15. The 12-9 overtime game with the Colts beating the Broncos. And last week, you had the Commanders and the Bears in a 12-7 game. I mean, these are just horribly played football games. It is why so many fans criticize Thursday Night Football. Because the physicality, the lack of timing, the lack of precision, the lack of practice, all the things that go into why you need time to prepare and to rest is why a game played on a short week produces the results that Thursday Night Football has. So none of it matters because the Saints and the Cardinals are going to play tonight. It's just to illustrate I don't expect a clean game because Thursday Night Football is rarely clean. It's rarely good. It's just rarely good. So I don't expect it to be good tonight. And you have one team that is atrocious offensively, and that's Arizona. Now, Arizona scored 9 points last week. And it's not only that they scored 9 points. They scored 9 points against Seattle. Seattle, when the Saints played them, was the second to worst defense in the NFL. And they held Arizona to 9 points. And that's when they had Hollywood Brown. He's now injured on IR. Yes, DeAndre Hopkins is back. They just traded for Robbie Anderson. We'll see if that makes any difference in this ballgame tonight. I don't know if it will. But that is, for me, the biggest matchup tonight. Look, the Saints offense, as much as we've talked about it, the injury to Jameis, being without your receivers, you're going to be without Michael Thomas, without Jarvis Landry, without Deontay Hardy tonight. We all that. No Andrews Pete at left guard. We know. The offense isn't the Saints' problem. The offense isn't great, but they've been good enough. The offense was good enough to beat Cincinnati. The offense was good enough to beat Minnesota in London. Your defense let you down. Right now, the Saints are averaging 23 points a game. That's 11th in the NFL. You're in the top third of the league. You're right there at the top third of the league. That's good enough to win. But you're 29th in points allowed. You're allowing 26 points a game right now. It's way too much. Last year, you were 9-8 on the season. Last year, you went 9-8 with an atrocious offense. We all agree on that? Can we all agree the Saints' offense last year was atrocious? And I know why. All the injuries that happened. You're playing Trevor Siemian. You got Ian Book. I get it. But you went 9-8 because your defense was freaking phenomenal. You shut out Tampa. Tampa had the number 2 scoring offense in the league. You shut them out in prime time. You won a game 9-0. You didn't score a touchdown, and you won a game 9-0 against the second best offense in the league last year. Your defense was 4th in scoring. 19 points a game last year. They were awesome. You could win allowing 19 points a game in the NFL. Even with the injuries on offense, this year, you are outperforming last year's offense. This offense, even with Jameis broken back, Andy Dalton, no Thomas, no Landry, no Olave missing last week, all the stuff, you are outperforming your offense from a season ago. Your offense is statistically better now than it was last year. The difference is your defense is markedly worse. And maybe it's, look, you had Marcus Williams, you had Malcolm Jenkins, you had C.D. Deuce, all those dudes are gone. You turned over your secondary. And we thought, look, bring in Marcus May, bring in Tyron, it'll be fine. It hadn't been, because that's your problem right now. And really the bigger problem has been your cornerbacks. According to Pro Football Focus, the Saints defensive, their secondary is 17th. And individually, Marshawn Lattimore and Paulson Adebo are at the bottom of the league. Paulson Adebo is the 4th lowest graded cornerback in the NFL right now. And I get it. He's playing injured. He was great last year as a rookie. Went through camp, was the breakout star of camp. Hurt his knee, and he just ain't right. I get, or it was his ankle. And he's not right. I get it. It's hard to play in the NFL. It's darn near impossible if you're playing on one leg. I get it. But it's shown. And so now you go into this game against an Arizona team that has lost 8 straight at home. Arizona has lost 8 straight home games. They can't win in their building. Last week, they couldn't score a touchdown. They lost to Seattle, they lost 19-9. Arizona's defense is good, by the way. They're really good. They've allowed more than 20 points once this year. Their defense is good. And they will cause problems for the Saints offense, no doubt. The question is, right now, you got bad on bad. You got Arizona's offense and Kyler Murray, which has been bad. You have the Saints secondary, which has allowed way too many big plays. Which bad unit steps up? Is it Arizona getting DeAndre Hopkins back? You put Robbie Anderson into the mix? Or can that Saints defense have a turnaround, quick turnaround, still no Marshawn Lattimore? Can they limit the big plays from Arizona? I don't know. I mean, I want to pick the Saints desperately. I don't know how I can, though, because Arizona to me, this Arizona team reminds me of the Saints a year ago. This Arizona team is what New Orleans was a year ago. Their defense is awesome. Their offense is not nearly good enough, but they're winning games on their defense. And they're at home in a quick turnaround, and the Saints are struggling. It's hard for me to pick New Orleans. If New Orleans wins this game, I think it's circumstantial. I think it's because Matt Prater doesn't play, and it completely alters how Cliff Kingsbury calls this game. If Prater's not available to go, who's Arizona's kicker, and they have situations where normally in an NFL game, you get to the 35 or even the 40, right? You're attempting a field goal that you think should be automatic in the NFL and get you 3 points. If Arizona doesn't have that with Prater, they're going for it on a whole bunch of 4th downs, and as a result, they have empty possessions where normally they would get points, and this is a low-scoring game, then I like New Orleans. But that's a big if, and that's circumstantial, and I got to go based on what I've seen. And what I've seen is New Orleans offense is scuffled. The defense isn't nearly good enough. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, they have the ability to make big plays. Arizona's at home. The Saints on a short week have to travel. I just can't pick New Orleans. I think this is a game they have to have, but Arizona's in the exact same spot. Both of these teams are at 2-4. Both are looking at division leaders at 3-3 right now. This is a game that both teams are looking at mathematically saying you have to have this one if you want to keep pace. Because if you lose today and the division leader wins, you got a 3-game separation. And it just, you're not coming back. You're not coming back from that mathematically. It's just not going to work. So you got to get this game. We'll see if the Saints can go get it. All right, it's after further review. We'll do Otter locks when we come back to wrap up. Jimmy will give us a pick on Thursday Night Football and everything else he's got. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Rouse's is the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. So inside of 2 hours from kickoff, actually about an hour and a half from kickoff right now, knocking off of work, heading home. How about just swinging to Rouse's to get stuff for the game watch tonight on Thursday night? Start your weekend early. Watch the Whodats. Watch a little Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. Watch the Saints and the Cardinals. Swing on, pick up whatever it may be. If it's cold beer, great craft beer, any wine or whiskey or whatever your favorite beverage is, maybe something the entire family can enjoy. Maybe you're looking for dinner options tonight. Rouse's got you covered as well. Go into Rouse's. Of course, to the right, they got all the grocery stuff. To the left, they got all your food. You want to grab some steaks or some fish to throw on the grill, you could do that. You want prepared food, they got tons of options as well. If it's chicken or pork or beef, they got it. Even sushi, they've got you covered at Rouse's. Rouse's is the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. If you want to save time, they've got delivery and pickup options as well. So download the Rouse's app. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, we're happy to say that we have vehicles in stock and more coming in at no markup. Don't pay over MSRP. Come on down to Corvell Toyota and choose your new Toyota today. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like, again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them the right card, the right care.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR. We always appreciate our friends at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, online, theantiagingclinics.com. Nick Underhill just tweeted, Paulson Adebo inactive tonight for the Saints. A struggling secondary takes a bigger hit. All right, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Enfuego, Ott Father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Doing great, Matt. Got a big house over here, Jolie Pearl, man. The Mercy, Our Lady of Mercy, men's club, cooking a gumbo, and big watch party over here for Saints and Cardinals.
Love it, man. Are the garage doors open?
Oh yes. It's open air, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful.
Such a great. Jolie Pearl's such a great spot in downtown Baton Rouge. If y'all haven't been, you need to go check it out. Congrats, Otter. By the way, I did play your parlay last night, which did hit. Okay. So App State money line parlay, pairing it up with the Astros money line. So, man, there's a lot on the smorgasbord tonight. So let's get into it.
Oh God, Matt, you're gonna kill me, but it's just not a ton that I like.
Okay.
On this card today, I don't want to lie. So, I am. The one game that the Saints Cardinals. I mean, I got a season win total on the Saints. I need them to win. I got a season win total on under Georgia Tech. I need them to lose, and I kind of like the other side, but I can't do it. So what I'm going to do is you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. When you don't know the answer, you cheat, right? So I'm going to Randy McKay. Randy, and we'll have his full explanation why. He's 12-6 on the year, and NFL picks only. He's really, really good. And of the 12 or so handicappers that I do the podcast with, he's the most respected.
Okay.
And he likes Arizona tonight in this one. So I know it's not something that
1 minute remaining.
The audience wants to hear and things like that. I'm stuck on it maybe because I'm pulling for the Saints so bad. I just don't want to. I'm hoping that they won't lose another close one.
Yeah.
Hopkins is going to get a lot of targets that Hollywood Brown was getting. He was 4th in targets in the league, 7th in receiving yards. He will kind of shape at the end. The secondary just talked about Debo out again. I mean, this is a short turnaround on Thursday night. That's disadvantageous to the visitor. I mean, I'm just going to go with Arizona a little bit, but I'm pulling for the Saints if that makes sense.
No Colucci pick?
I need to talk to him first. I've been out the last Thursday. He has not done well.
All right.
So
Okay.
I'm going to get we're going to start with him next week.
All right. Sounds good. All right, Otter. Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us. Thank you, Otter.
Okay, buddy. See you.
All right. Game Time with Jimmy Ott in Baton Rouge or online at 1045ESPN.com. Muse Paulie, thanks. See y'all tomorrow.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about GMFS Mortgage, GMFSmortgage.com, changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans, they do it all at GMFS Mortgage. I actually went with a friend today to go look at a house. Person just wanted another set of eyeballs on it. And we're talking about the whole process, and it's just so interesting how sometimes people just lack information or understanding how the process works, which is totally fine. Maybe you are a first-time home buyer. Maybe you're renting and you've never owned and you're not sure how the whole process works. That was the situation today with someone who I went and kind of looked at a house with. That's okay. That's why GMFS is there. They can walk you through the entire process. They can answer your questions, explain how down payments work or how zero money down options work. If you have any ambiguity or you're just trying to get to that next phase of life, GMFS Mortgage can help. GMFSmortgage.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1999.